10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
494. Yeah.
Done. It's the Shy Life.
But it's supposed to be
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
Hello, Paul.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
This particular episode of The Shy Life is a little more abstract than usual. Okay, looks like the hairy guy's ready to record. 3, 2, 1.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. I think he has.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How you doing? I'm all right. Well, yeah. Considering the time of year, I'm all right. Come on, guys. You know I don't like Christmas. I mean, I wouldn't mind Christmas if it just started on Christmas Eve and finished on Boxing Day, which I know you don't even have in American listeners, but I just don't like all the build-up, the fact that it starts in November, early November, and you have to watch the same stupid adverts on the TV. Not that I watch the TV much these days. I mainly watch DVDs or streaming services that don't have adverts, but yeah, I mean, come on. Nobody needs to see all that Christmas stuff, right at the start of November, or maybe even late October. But anyway, that's just me. So I've come up with something new this year for our Christmas special. Basically, we're not going to celebrate Christmas. No, not at all. Well, maybe I'll open some presents. But no, it's going to be different this year. It's going to be different. So let's run the theme music, and when we come back, you'll see it's our Christmas review of the year, New Year's Eve episode. Yeah, all rolled into one. To get it over and done with in one episode. Run that theme music.
It's time for my old buddy, old pal from across the channel, across the pond, Paul Chandler, the Shy Yeti.
He's not that shy. Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast. Yeah.
All I wanted was a pie.
And then I hatched out of an egg. Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, you know.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He's not all that shy as bright.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life podcast.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Oh, I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life podcast.
He's positively glowing.
It's all gooey and meaty and yum.
So, listeners, I feel very clever to have decided this. So, yeah, Christmas. Here's some Christmas music. Yeah, that's it. No more. Nothing else. That's all you're getting. Now, what I'm particularly pleased about is that I have found a little place to hide away. I've got some booze in here with me. I've got some food in here with me. But no one's going to find me. No one, not even the regulars, are going to come in and interrupt me. I've got my laptop with all my favourite horrible Christmassy movies. Black Christmas. I thought I might watch a couple of is it Matt Smith sort of Doctor Who Christmas special episodes that aren't very Christmassy. I might watch those. That'll be my concession. And I don't mind Christmas stuff when it's horrible. There's a movie called Images by Robert Altman, which isn't really Christmassy, but it's autumnal. And I watched it. Well, I watched it a few times, and I watched it last Christmas. I thought, yeah, this is a good one to put in the Christmas list. It's sort of, it's autumnal and it's bleak, and there's a doppelganger and murders, and it's in a lovely location. I mean, I still like lovely locations. I'm not saying I want, So, and then the other one is, oh gosh, I've forgotten the name. It's there on the tip of my tongue. I can see it. It's got Angela Pleasance in. Who is Donald Pleasance's daughter. I'm gonna have to look it up. Symptoms. Yeah, it's about a woman who's kind of going mad, always a bit mad. Which is probably not a politically correct way of saying it, but that's what she is, and that's how it's referred to in the film, because it was made in 1971. Anyway, she's not doing very well. And again, it's not Christmas, but it's autumn. There's lots of dead leaves in the pond. Actually, Images is similar. The lady's not having a lot of luck. She's not having a good time of it. But yeah, great. That's what I want to watch on Christmas Day. So that's what I'll be watching on Christmas Day. And I'm going to be in my little hidey hole, and no one's going to find me. No one's going to find me or interrupt me or want me to pull a cracker with them. Actually, I don't mind that bit of it. I mean, as I've said, I don't really mind Christmas, the actual centre of Christmas. Christmas Eve I can cope with. Christmas, Boxing Day, that's for leftovers. And Christmas Day just goes so quickly. I don't really mind. I'm just making a point this year of hiding away, and with all my favourite things. So that's that. And also, in a minute, I'm going to talk to you about my favourite episodes of the Charlotte podcast this year. And I'm not inviting any guests. I don't want anybody else's opinion. I'm deciding which is the favourite episodes this year. Yeah, it's all about me, listeners. I'm going to be saying. But I will be covering lots of episodes, and there will be clips. This is probably going to be quite a long episode. I do enjoy doing review of the year, but I don't want anyone's opinion this year. I don't want anyone else's opinion. I'm saying, I'm deciding, I'm boss. And then, as for New Year's Eve, there'll be no live episodes. There'll be no live episodes over Christmas or New Year this year, because no one listens. No one listens live except for the people who are involved in the episode. Because everybody else has got other things to do. So, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to, I'm just going to say Happy New Year at the end of this episode. I'm giving you a spoiler. This is a spoiler, isn't it? So it gives me more time for eating stuff if I don't do that. Although, between you and I am hoping to record with Toppy Smelly. Not in this episode, but I'm hoping that I'll talk to him. And we'll just have a chatter, because Toppy's not been able to sort of take part in a proper family Christmas because of COVID restrictions and his work and all that sort of thing. So he's free to talk on Christmas Day, but I'm not sharing him with you. Well, I will be as an episode, but I'm not sharing him live, which I'm going to have a chat with Toppy, maybe on Christmas Day, record it and put it out as an episode. That's my little treat to me. Hopefully it's a treat for Toppy as well. I wouldn't like to say. But actually on Thanksgiving, he had the same situation where he wasn't able to spend time with his family, and we recorded stuff. And it was a nice treat to get him on a day when he was off work, but he couldn't do much. And that was lovely. I got a bit Toppy to myself, and we recorded stuff, and that's, well, some of it you've probably not heard yet, but not saying anything. But anyway, all I'm saying is we had a really good recording session, and it was also nice because we were able to record at a sensible hour. I think about 11 o'clock in the morning for him and about in the afternoon for me. So, we used to record we used to record really late. Like, I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he'd be having to sort of try and keep awake because it was nearly midnight for him or whatever. You know, that was how we used to record. And the last year or so, we've been able to find more sociable times, which is it's good for both of us. It's good for both of us. I don't know, these time differences. This is the trouble about having friends in other places. But, you know, 30 years ago, I would never have known there was a Toppy Smelly or Jay the Haunt Cub or DJ Starsage or any of those people, because I wouldn't have known they existed because there was no way of finding out about them. So, yeah, we have to be thankful. It's one of the good things about the 21st century. Anyway, what am I nattering on about? Anyway, I'm enjoying my little hideaway. They're not going to find me. They won't find me. But yeah, they are about the regulars. If you want to, if you want to check in on them, I probably will put a Sutton Park clip. Maybe I'll put that towards the end, like sort of before I say Happy New Year. I think you should run along, as I say. I think you should run along. Oh, actually, before you do that, why don't we have a quiz? Let's have a quiz, a Christmas quiz, although it won't be anything to do with Christmas. It's just one of the quizzes I've recorded with Callum. Actually, recently we've not recorded. We've mainly just recorded me showing off about how much I know about music, or how much I don't know about music, depending on the situation. I'll see if I can find one where there is a quiz, not just me showing off. I mean, the music quizzes you can still shout the answers out, but sometimes I get there too soon. But I try and find a quiz. I can't guarantee it's anything to do with Christmas, but I'll see what happens. See what I can find. We'll have one of those now, and then when we come back, I'll let you loose on the regulars, and then after that, I'll do my review of the year. Okay, right. Have a listen to this quiz with Callum. I can always put some Jingle Bells music over the top of it to make it sound Christmassy. No. We're trying to avoid Christmas. Here you go.
Here we go. 80s. Under what name did dance producer Tim Simonon have a hit in 1988 with Beat This? It was a bad start.
Express.
Bomb the Bass. 90s. Queen's longest ever single went to number one in 1991. What was its title?
Well, it's Bohemian Rhapsody.
No.
Thought it got to number one again when he died.
Well, this is as innuendo.
Didn't know that was a particularly long one. I really don't know. That's one of those ones.
Yes, you never listened to it all the way through.
Well, that's one of those ones that got to number one, which without me ever thinking I've ever heard it.
God, this is terrible. Oh, you'll get this. 21st century. What song was a hit for the Zootons in 2006 and for Mark Ronson and Amy Winehouse in 2007?
I know it, but I can't think which girl's name it is. Not Victoria.
Dear.
Deborah. No. I can't think of what the girl's name is.
No. Well, I'll give you a clue. It's the same letter as Victoria.
Right. Vicky. Can't think of
it rhymes with salary.
Salary.
Very good. Complete the title of Sugar Babe's number one hit from 2002, Freak.
Like me.
Oh, well done. Which 1997 song by R. Kelly has the initials India Bravo, India Charlie Foxtrot?
I know nothing about R. Kelly, thank you.
Oh, yeah. IBICF.
I Believe I Can Fly?
Yes.
I couldn't even think. I just knew he did something. The only song I know is something about flying, but I wasn't sure I was going to get the full thing.
Oldies, get it on, bang a gong. You've heard of that? It was a hit for Power Station. It was a hit for the Power Station in 1985. Who had the original 1971 hit?
T-Rex.
Yes.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think it was a very big hit for Power Station.
No. 80s, which duo had their first top 10 hit with Ola Moore in 1987? Think carefully.
Say again, because...
Which duo had their first top 10 hit with Ola Moore in 1987?
Well, I'm just a bit confused.
Yeah.
It must be Dollar.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was their first top. They must have had other top 10 hits. That doesn't sound.
This is never wrong. This is never wrong.
They must have had top 10 hits when they were actually having hits, like back in the early 80s. And I knew it couldn't be Erasure because I knew that it was a flop for Erasure. I think they've got themselves a bit confused, or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't realize that Dollar existed before 1987. It was quite a gap between hits.
Yeah. In 1992, the 80-year-old bluesman John Lee Hooker had his first British top 20 hit. What was the song? You're confused again. Yeah, Boom Boom. 21st Century. Who had a top 3 hit in 2007 with Do You Know, the Ping Pong song? I didn't know this one. Do you know the Ping Pong song? Ping Pong song is in brackets.
Mr. Wazzo.
No, it's Enrique Iglesias.
Dios didn't know that, did he, Dios?
Complete the title of Joss Stone's 2004 hit, Sugar. Oh, no, sorry, Super. Super.
Say that again.
Complete the title of Joss Stone's 2004 hit, Super.
Superwoman?
No, it's Duper Love. Super Duper Love.
Did you know that, Dios?
Which 1993 song by M People has the initials Oscar November India Hotel?
One Night in Heaven?
Oh, One Night in Heaven. Correct. And oldies. Who had the original 1978 hit with Love Doesn't Live Here Anymore, revived by Jimmy Nail in 1985?
Gladys Knight and the Pips. I don't think they know.
No, it was Rose Royce.
Yeah,
It was Final Card. 80s. Using the name The Commentators, which impressionist had a hit with No 19 Not Out, a parody of Paul Hardcastle's 19?
Rory Bremner.
Yeah. Mr. C was the frontman of which chart-topping band of the 1990s?
The Shaman.
Whole Again in 2001 was the first number 1 hit for which girl group?
Atomic Kitten.
Oh, you're getting good there. Complete the title of Charlotte Church's number 2 hit from 2005, Crazy
Chick.
Correct. Which 1996 song by Baby Bird has the initials Yankee Golf?
You're gorgeous, Dios.
Yeah. And oldies, which 1957 song was a British hit in 1967 for the Mamas and Papas and for Bitty McLean in 1994?
Monday? No.
No.
That must be Dream a Little Dream of You.
No.
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 No, you don't know. It's dedicated to the one I love. That's it. You're in defeat.
I knew it wasn't Monday in California Dreaming because they wrote that. Those are when they wrote them. Right. Don't know why they give 4 reasons, but we don't have to do the whole. Oh, do we have to do the whole 10? Well, it doesn't matter. We'll see. We can be a team because I can't see the. I better refresh the page just in case. We can agree together. Okay, the word is umbra. Umbra. An umbra would normally be found close to a Stone Age settlement. It was their trash pile. Or an umbra is a dark area, especially the darkest part of a shadow, where all light is cut off. In astronomy, it would be the darkest region of a sunspot. Or the people of the Upper Nile. Umbra was the familiar name of the god of prosperity. Each family would have a small statue over the door. Or the best use for an umbra would be in a woodwork shop. It is a small file used to remove burrs from chisels. So it's a Stone Age trash pile, the darkest part of a sunspot, a god of prosperity, or a woodwork tool.
Not as entertaining as the program, is it?
Well, I need to do different voices.
I think it's the most plausible one to me would be the scientific sunspot one. Second one, I think it was.
The next word is senescence. Senescence. Scientists have for years studied senescence, looking for the secrets that will unlock the mysteries of gravitational waves. Or the concentrated musk of mink and other small mammals is referred to as their senescence. A senescence, as most people are no doubt aware, is the term given to a meeting of the senior members of a spiritualist church. Senescence is of concern to everyone on the planet. It simply means growing old.
What's your opinion?
We can see how senile, but that might be what they're trying to make you think about getting old. Don't think it's a church. Deals. Are you doing to my hair? I don't know. Maybe it is growing old. What do you think? Shooting beasts. What do you think?
Well, I thought the first one. I forgot what that was.
Next one is undine. An undine is a unit of measurement used by brewers to calculate the amount of sugar needed to raise the alcohol content of the mash. In the Zoroastrian religion, an undine is one of the basic tenets, roughly equivalent to the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill." Or in mythology, an undine is a water sprite who can obtain a soul by marrying a human. Or an undine was a proto-cow, or more simply, an ancestor of today's cows, roughly the size of a large German shepherd. Deals.
I'll go for that cow one.
I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce this one. Kokshaghyz. I'm not copying. Yeah. It's an Asian dandelion cultivated by the natives of Kazakhstan, as it produces a form of rubber. If you see a sign saying that word during your next visit to Turkmenistan, be prepared to duck. It is a warning that the road ahead is an area of avalanches. Or for many years, it was used by the followers of the Hishmatish tribe of Patagonia as an antidote to spider venom. It is the sap of a climbing vine bearing bright orange berries. Or it is not a real word at all, but an aide-memoire used by chemical research scientists to remember the makeup of potassium seaborgium hydroxylene.
I reckon it's the scientist's one again.
Yeah, I think
the last one.
Yeah, I think so.
They wouldn't have a foreign word there.
Mega megakaryocyte. A megakaryocyte is the largest size a circuit can be, yet still be considered part of nanotechnology. Or it's a protein cocktail used by bodybuilders. Megakaryocyte consists mainly of creatine and beta-carotene. Or to a marine biologist, megakaryocyte is the holy grail. It represents the missing link between totally aquatic animals and totally terrestrial animals. Or the megakaryocyte is a bone marrow cell that produces platelets.
You can choose that one.
I think it's the first one, the largest the circuit can be.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Again, the protein cocktail, isn't that like a brand name? They wouldn't have that, sure. Sitatunga. A sitatunga would be used by the Cherokee people as a place to smoke meat. It is a structure, usually half buried, where they would hang and smoke buffalo meat. Or the sitatunga is an amphibious antelope found in Central and Eastern Africa. Or in Japan, a sitatunga is used in the art of bonsai. It is the shallow tray in which the tree is cultivated. Or sitatunga was once believed to be the source of life. The ancient Celts offered up sacrifices to him of sheep and goats to guarantee good fortune in battle. I think it could be the it's either the
Japanese
buffalo
one.
meat, either the buffalo meat or the bonsai one.
Bonsai.
Shall we go for the bonsai one?
Yeah.
We've got 4 more. Palimpsest.
Palimpsest. I've heard that word. So.
Among the tribes of Papua New Guinea, a palimpsest was believed to ward off the evil spirits of enemies killed in battle. Or in medieval France, the palimpsest was an envoy, usually from the Pope, carrying messages up and down the Seine River. Or it is the name given to the box that was carried on carriages, which was placed by the door, allowing passengers to disembark without having to jump. This saved women, especially from looking undignified. Or if you were to find a manuscript, typically a papyrus, that has been written on more than once, with the earlier writing badly erased and still legible, you would have in your hands a palimpsest.
Is that last one?
Dybbuk, D-Y-B-B-U-K, Dybbuk. For many years, a dybbuk could be found hanging from a tree by the side of a road leading into a village. It is another name for a gibbet. Or, in Teutonic folklore, a dybbuk would best be described as a cross between a vampire and a werewolf. Or, in the Transylvanian mountains, if one were to be described as a dybbuk, you would probably provide meat for the whole community. It would mean you were an expert hunter with a crossbow. Or, in Jewish mythology, the dybbuk is a demon controlling the thoughts, words, and deeds of a live body. I think it might actually be. I mean, I know that it's mythology or folklore. I think it's either the vampire and werewolf or it's the demon.
Well, the fourth one, though, I thought the Jewish one.
Question 9. An odalisque. Dating back hundreds of years, when the Turkish Sultan kept harems, an odalisque was a female slave or concubine. Or, for anyone interested in botany, an odalisque is quite simply the hybrid offspring of any 2 separate species of orchid, usually involving the grafting of one type to another. Or, an odalisque in Muslim folklore was the soul of a victim of a violent death, often haunting the person who killed them. Or, if a teenager today was found to be in possession of an odalisque, nobody would think twice. It refers to a certain type of communication device used by agents during the Second World War. It would now apply to cell phones. I might go for the orchids, but should we do that one?
Yeah, orchids, desert orchid.
The last one, I feel like I've heard this word, haptic. As unlikely as it sounds, any type of small lichen can be described as haptic. Or haptic would generally be seen in a mobile army surgical hospital, such as like in MASH. It is an antibiotic Or the best explanation for haptic would be of or related to the ammonia family. It is a type of cleaning agent used in bathrooms. Or simply put, haptic is of or relating to the sense of touch.
I'll go for the cleaning agent in bathrooms.
Submit our answers. This is when it goes wrong.
Well, I know haptic's wrong, so I just looked it up.
Oh dear. We got 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
We got umbra right. Umbra is the dark area. Senescence, it actually means growing old. So it does. Apparently with umbra, 89% of players answered correctly. Only 72% answered correctly for senescence. Undine wasn't a proto-cow.
Wasn't the cow.
It was a water sprite marrying a human. Well, in mythology. 57% of players got that right. The Kansaka, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a chemical.
There was a film called Undine about a water nymph in 2020, which we obviously never heard of.
That Kazakh's, that one, that's an Asian dandelion. 41% of players got that right. A megakaryocyte is a bone marrow cell that produces platelets, not what I said. 66% got that right. A situnga is an amphibious antelope found in Central and Eastern Africa. That 47% of players got that right. I mean, what's an amphibious antelope? One that swims underwater. I mean, I didn't even understand that one. The next two we got right. A palimpsest.
Palimpsest.
That is the manuscript. And the 57% got that right. The Dybbuk is the demon. 63% got that right.
Oh, we got that.
The odalisque was the harem, the Turkish harem. 62% got that right. A haptic is related to touch. 57% of players got that right. The average score for this quiz is 6 out of 10. Dear.
Oh,
wow.
Not good. Hugely enjoyable.
I don't understand. Paul has vanished.
You what?
Paul has vanished.
I don't think he's vanished. He left a note.
Well, I know, but he's still vanished.
Oh, well, you know. He doesn't like Christmas much. He doesn't want to do a Christmas special or have a Christmas party. It's not a special episode. It's just a normal episode. But we're close to episode 500. He knows there'll be lots of action then. Just wants a quiet Christmas.
I suppose so. I don't understand this note. It says, Dear regulars. You can't even use our names. Dear regulars, I will be around. I will not be going away at Christmas, but I will be in my hidey hole. And I don't want to be disturbed. I have all the food and DVDs and the booze that I require for the Christmas period. So I will disappear anytime now, and I will emerge in the new year.
That is quite a long time to be hiding.
Yes, what about loo breaks and things like that?
I imagine he'll be creeping around the flat when nobody's looking. I don't know where this hidey hole is.
I know. I wonder if it's linked to the laboratory somehow. I want to ask August, but August does not make much sense.
Oh, I know. Well, he's leaving, isn't he?
He's what?
He's leaving. He's not going to be here for Christmas Day.
You're right. No, August is going over to see Bettina for Christmas. That will be nice for them.
I know. That will be nice. And Ick, I guess Ick's going to be staying put in the spaceship.
Oh, yes, but we can go over there. I think we'll just go over there. And then Paul can tiptoe around the house as much as he likes. August and Bettina, They can be in Bettina's house, and we can be with Ike in the spaceship. Does Ike know that we're coming?
I think so. Yes, I think so. I think he definitely does. Yes. We can call him and see.
Oh yes, why don't we call him? I guess we ought to call Yeti Uncle John whilst we're here.
Oh yeah, he's going to be spending Christmas in Clink.
Well, you know, if Paul had done more episodes in November, we might have been celebrating episode 500 now, but, oh well, he'll have to. I think it will do him good, you know, Yeti Uncle John being in Shame Jail for Christmas. I think it will be, you know, it's a landmark before he is freed.
Yeah, and I'm sure Isaac and Declan, or at least Isaac, will be setting them lots of cryptic crosswords to do. It'll be fun, he'll enjoy it.
Oh yes, he will. Anyway, let's call Ike just to see. Ike, it's me. Cromitty, are you there?
Oh, hello, Cromitty. I am there, I'm just resting up. Oh dear. This pregnancy is going on and on.
Oh yes, we were just talking about that. Well, you know, Paul was busy and not very well at times, and I think, you know, the episodes were fallen behind. We probably were expecting a bit much to expect episode 500 in December. It'll be January now, when things are quieter. It's probably for best.
Oh, you're not the pregnant one.
Well, no. We just wanted to check whether it was okay to come over to you on Christmas Day still.
Oh, yes. I've got sort of, Sister Ooh gave me an address for a caterer. So I'm getting catering in, so I don't have to do anything, it'll be fine. What is the numbers?
Well, we think it'll just be Martin and I, because Yeti Uncle John's still in Shame Jail, and who else? Oh yes, August is with Bettina.
But what about Paul?
Oh no, he's sent us a note. He's saying he's going to hide away.
Oh golly. Oh well, let him hide away. It's fine. We can have a nice time.
Yes. We can do Christmas and New Year all in one.
I think that would be a good idea. You know, our parties do tend to drag. We're quite, we're quite, ostentatious. What's the word? You know, it's all kind of like,
Oh, yes, you mean the party will last a week?
Well, it can do, if that's how it goes.
Well, we just wanted to check it was still okay.
Oh, absolutely, yes, it will be lovely. Oh, if Paul changes his mind, he can always come over.
I don't know. I think he sounded like he's not like he's going on a fast. He's hibernating, but I don't know. When he realizes that none of us are in the house, maybe he'll come out and he'll just be normal. And I don't know what Toby's up to.
Oh well, yes, you know, Toby does his own thing. Toby and Dealey.
Yes, the last thing I saw, Toby had put a hot water bottle under Dealey's bed, and Dealey loves the bed now, rather than sleeping in Toby's bed.
Is that true?
Yes. Dealey gets in the double bed when Toby wakes up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. When he comes back, there's a big cat in the bed, and the big cat is stretched out, and then he's stretched out where Toby has been sleeping, and then Toby has to get back into the little sliver of bed that's left. So he solved that problem by putting a hot water bottle under Dealey's bed, and the fluffy bed in the living room. Dealey loves that now, and he won't come in the bed. Toby's a genius. Oh, he's a genius. I hope he doesn't cook Dealey, though.
Oh, no, I hope not. But I guess, he's careful.
Yes. Well, anyway, we better go, and we need to call Yeti Uncle John. It might be the last time we speak to him.
Well, you could call him on Christmas Day.
We could call him on Christmas Day. I don't know that we will, though, because we'll be too busy having a party. So I'm just calling him now to say, Anyway, I've got to do that.
Yeah. Hi, Ike. It's me, Martin. I'm here too.
Oh, Martin, I didn't know you were there. Oh, well, looking forward to seeing you on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Ike. Goodbye for now. Oh, dear. Right, we ought to call Yeti Uncle John. Oh, no. Talk of the devil. He is calling us.
Oh, my goodness. That's weird.
Yeti Uncle John, hello. Oh, hello, Cromitty, how are you? Happy Happy Christmas Eve, or whatever it is. Oh, yes, thank you. It's good to speak to you. We were about to call you. We'd just been on the phone to Ike. Oh, I thought you might be calling somebody. I Oh, you were engaged when I tried before. Yeah, what's going on? Christmas decorations up? Oh, Giddy Uncle John, you know better than that. There's never Christmas decorations in this house. I know, I was teasing. Where's Paul? I tried to call his phone too. He didn't pick up. Oh, he's decided he's going to hibernate for Christmas and New Year. He's going to do his review of the year. It's just going to keep to himself. I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be in the house in a hidey hole. I can't find the hidey hole. I don't know. It's something he's never told us about, maybe. A mystery. Oh, well. Oh, it's a shame. I would have liked to have spoken to him. Well, maybe he'll call you later in the episode. I don't know. I don't like to say. You can't tell with Paul. I guess not. I know he doesn't like Christmas, but this has come to something when he's hiding away on Christmas. Oh, yes, well, I know, but it makes for a different concept, I guess. Oh, dear, oh, dear. How's Ick? Oh, yes, it's fine. We're having a party at his house. Well, his spaceship on Christmas Day, but it's just going to be Martin and I. He's getting the caterers in, though. Oh, I expect there'll be lots of nice alien food. Be careful what you choose. Well, I'm used to it now. It's fine. So where's August going? Oh, he's going to Bettina's. Oh, Bettina didn't invite you all round to her big house. That would have solved the problem of Vic having to cater. Oh, yes, but I think that, maybe they want some time to themselves. Really? Is it going that way? Well, those two. It's nice. It's nice to... Nice that they're here. Not nice they're things are developing. I didn't see that happening. Anyway, yeah. So what are you up to at Christmas? We wondered if Isaac was going to set you up with very, cryptic crosswords. I'm sure that'll happen. Declan, I think, is just going to be having a bit of a booze and playing some. I don't know. There's computer games he likes, Pokemon and stuff. I think. I don't know. They're always fighting. I mean, the little creatures are fighting. I've been given a pass so that I can play Fortnite with my Fortnite buddies. Like legitimately, no hiding. Oh, it sounds like a wonderful Christmas for you, little Uncle John. You must be glad that you're not getting out. Not getting out? Is there something I don't? No, what I mean is you're not getting out for Christmas. You will be getting out in the new year. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you'd heard something. I thought you meant like permanently. I was going to be stuck here permanently with Coconut Jim. Coconut Jim? Yeah. He's a new inmate. He's only recently arrived. He's got a head like a coconut. Long story. But anyway, well, just wanted to see what you're all up to. Can you give me a call on Christmas Day? We may do, but we may be too busy at the party. No, we'll try, and maybe Paul will. I don't know. All right then, guys. I expect we'll all be having fun, except for Paul. Well, even Paul will be having fun in his own little way. Oh yes, I think he'll be happy because he has chosen to spend Christmas the way he's spending it, in his little hidey hole. So I don't know what to say, but yes, he'll be having fun in his own way. He's got food. Well, that'll keep him happy. Exactly. Anyway, we better go. We have some messages to play, and then I think we have to hand back over to Paul, wherever he is. I can't believe he's hiding already. Well, the time is ticking on. Yeah, I guess so. I'll speak to you later then. Yes, Yeti Uncle John. Bye for now.
Bye, Yeti Uncle John.
Oh, Martin, I didn't realise you were there, so you're very quiet.
I'm sorry.
How's your mum? How's Tallulah?
She's all right. Hey, you ought to ask her to come to Ick's party.
Oh, it's a good idea. Yes.
What does she usually do? I think she does stuff at the school, but I don't think. Yeah, we better call her.
Well, do that now. Do it now.
I can't believe I didn't think about it.
It's fine. Better let you get to it. All right, bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Quick. Martin, dial. I'm dialing.
Hello. Tallulah from the. Oh dear. It's me. It's Martin. Oh, hey, darling. I just wanted to know what you were doing at Christmas Day. I hadn't thought to ask. I'm so sorry. Oh well, I meant to ask you too. When you come round to Ig's place. Oh my goodness, is he having a party? Yeah.
So I'll let you speak. I need to go. Oh, dear listeners, I can hear a noise in the front room.
Hello, darling. It's just me, Bettina.
Oh, Bettina, have you come to pick up August?
Yes, I have, darling. Yes, I have. Is he ready?
Oh, I think so, yes.
Where is everybody?
Oh, well, Martin's on the phone to Tallulah, trying to make plans for Christmas. We've just been talking to Yeti Uncle John.
Oh, lovely. Still in shame jail, I hear.
Oh, yes, until the new year.
And where's Paul?
Oh, he's in hiding.
He's in hiding? Hiding from what?
Oh, hiding from Christmas and New Year.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, never mind. And, you're all spending Christmas with Ick. You could have come over to ours if you had wanted to.
Oh, well, no, we thought it's a good way of spending time. Ick can't really move too much, so we're going to spend it with him. And Martin will be with me, and hopefully Tallulah.
Oh, wonderful. Where is August? Is he ready? I booked us for lunch somewhere, and we're going to be late if he doesn't get a move on. Oh, hello, it's me. August Evans, how are you? Bettina, I'm so sorry. I've packed rather more than I expected. Blimey, so you have.
Don't worry, we'll get Martin to help you with those. We'll get him to put them in the car. He's the young one.
Oh, that would be marvellous, thank you.
August, have you seen Paul?
No, I heard he was in hiding.
Well, yes, he is in hiding, but we don't know where he's hiding. We just wondered. Oh, well, I do not know.
It's a mystery, dear. A mystery. Now, come on, we need to get moving. We've got lunch bookings. Oh, have we? That's nice. I bought my paints. That's what's in all these suitcases. Oh, dear. Are you going to sit there and paint lunch? Oh, and wait, just paint the dessert. All right then, darling. It's fine. I've let the restaurant know. They seem quite up for it. I've told them you'll donate the painting. Oh, yes. That'll pay for the meal. That will pay for the meal. Well, it might do. We'll have to see, darling. We'll have to see. Good news, everybody. Tallulah's coming for Christmas. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, great.
Oh, that is good. Martin, you need to help move these suitcases into the car. This is August Evans' holiday suitcases.
Oh, looks like he's moving out for good. You're not moving out for good, are you, August? Oh, I don't think so, no.
This is just for the holidays.
Oh, darling. It'll be fine. Come on, let's get going.
Yes, well, we'll help. I'll take this bag, the light one. Listeners, you need to listen to a couple of messages. Hello, it's me, Charlie Girl. How are you? Just wanted to say Happy Christmas and a Happy New Year to all the listeners of the Shell F podcast. What will I be doing at Christmas? I will be eating pies. Big pies, small pies, medium pies. Anything that happens to, claim to be a pie, I will eat it. Yes. And I guess I will be having lots of belly button fluff tea. It'll be a good time. Yes. I'm sorry you can't be spending it with me, but there just aren't enough pies to go around. I only have 172. So that's mine. Unless you want to bring the pies, bring more pies. But I'm afraid I cannot cater. I can only cater for myself. But anyway, Happy New Year and Happy Christmas. That's backwards. I went backwards. Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. Yes. And may 2022 be a good year for you. And for all the pies out there. Yes. Right. Bye for now. Goodbye for now. With me, Charlie Kerr. Hello, it's me, Albert the Dragon. Just wanted to say to the listeners of the Shut Up podcast, Happy Christmas and a Happy New Year. No, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's right. I wish I could be with you, but I'm having to look after the phoenixes. You can't just walk away from a big phoenix sanctuary. No, you got to look after them, particularly this time of year, because they can get cold. They can get so cold that their flames go out. But I mean, that never happens with ours because we look after them. But if you don't look after them, that's what will happen. And I come back in January and find that there's just a load of peacocks wandering around. I mean, that's not. I mean, Phoenix isn't a peacock, but a phoenix who has gone out. I mean, gone out as in blown out, as in has lost its flame, ends up looking a bit like a peacock. Yeah. Anyway, that's depressing. We don't want to talk about that. So yeah. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and hopefully I'll be on the show more in 2022. Or I haven't really made it, out and about. But then, a lot of this year we weren't moving around that much. Not as bad as 2020, but there we go. Anyway, have a lovely time, and I'll speak to you soon. It's me, Albert the Dragon. Yeah, may your Christmas be fiery in the nicest possible way. Hello listeners, it's me again. I hope you heard from the regulars there. So Christmas is, it's not quite done, but it's mainly done. I was going to talk to you about my favourite episodes of 2021, but I need to get a list of them. I'm trying to work out the best way of getting a list of the episodes. So 2021 has been as busy as any of the last 2 or 3 years. I still haven't managed that magic 100, as far as editing episodes in 1 year. I haven't managed to do 100 yet, but I've well into the 90s, so I think that's a good year. So let's have a look. We started 2021 off well with a Dobby's Melly special in space, which you can't really argue about, can you? It's a good way to start the year. That was episode 401, because our last episode of 2020 was episode 400. Doppy Smelly in Space. I think we should have a clip from that for a start. Hello and welcome, listeners. How are you doing? We're recording live on Christmas Day for a very special segment of the Shy Life podcast. We're, as you can hear, it doesn't sound like the usual studios. It's because we're not in the usual studios. We are in space. We are. Oh,
can I take my seatbelt off yet?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Oh,
Toppy,
okay.
Yes, as you can hear, Toppy's with me. It's we just thought that this was the only way that Toppy and I could get to meet and be in the same place, because, as I've mentioned before, Spaceship is kind of like a clean sort of environment. You get squirted with all sorts of stuff as you come in, and there's no danger of any nasties. So it just seemed like a good.
we're COVID free up here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
How are you doing, Toppy? Oh, dear, you
let me get closer. Hold on a minute. Wow.
Sorry, Toppy's got a bit of space sickness or something.
Yeah, those sudden takeoffs always get me.
Oh dear. Well, I can tell you that it's just you and I, Toppy. Well, obviously, Ick is flying. That the others.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. I'm not flying. Don't let me fly. I think we may hear from Yeti Uncle John via well, he may even get to teleport in. I don't know if that's possible, but anyway, we'll just have to see, because.
I don't know. This alien technology is foreign to me. This teleportation.
But we've got a lovely spread of food. Well, that's what he said anyway. It's all a bit foreign to us, but...
a little.
Yeah.
What's this green speckled stuff with the red dots inside?
I'm not sure if that's food or whether that's some sort of mold that just happens to be growing over there.
Okay.
I'd leave that aside. I'm trying to think if I've had any of this before. I don't know.
If you taste something, then I'll taste it.
Yeah, between you and I have got a little box of some sandwiches and a packet of biscuits
Thank you.
that I brought with just in case. But
good thinking, Paul.
I know. And I didn't know you were here, Deary. Dealey's on the
She's a
spaceship.
stowaway.
Dealey's on the spaceship. How are you, Dealey? Are you going to speak? Oh, you've just pulled. Deals, please sit down. Dear, you haven't got a seatbelt.
Such a cat.
You haven't got a seatbelt on, Deals. Deals. If you're not going to speak, I'm going to have to dub a cat sound effect on.
Hey, Paul, have you ever studied Deal's face and wonder if the spots go back and forth and, like, you just never really notice? Have you ever looked at all of his photos to compare?
Well, also, it does get confusing because sometimes cameras, I think on my iPhone, if you use one of the cameras, it does a sort of, it takes the picture reverse, so he does look different in some pictures. But also, what we learned recently, being on the spaceship is kind of suitable for you, isn't it, Deals?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm afraid to know if this applies to all cats or
I'm not
just
sure.
Deals.
I'm not sure. Then after that, we had the first part of our review of 2020. We don't need any clips from that. That's just ridiculous. Then we had our New Year extravaganza, which we did on Univoz, and that was live. I don't think, did we do it? I think we did a live episode on Pride 48 on Christmas Day, and for New Year we did it on Univoz. This year we're not doing anything live at all. And then episode 404 was the second part of our review of 2020. Don't need to talk about that. Episode 405 was our first episode with Ryan from Canada. Ryan, the comic book kid. Although we haven't recorded with him much towards the end of 2021, we did record with him quite a lot at the start of 2021. And it was all rather a coincidence that we even met, just chatting online. And I said, "Oh, you ought to be on my podcast." And he said, "Yes, all right, I will." And then he did. And then he did it again, and about 4 or 5 more times. So we ought to have a clip from that episode. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today was your work, because I think a lot of our listeners will be interested in that. What is it you do?
I work in, at this point in time, what is probably the biggest comic book store in Manitoba.
Mm-hmm. Is that a job you've done for many years?
I've worked there for, about 7 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 7 years.
And you'd always been interested in comic books and things, had you? Or was it something that you sort of have grown to love even more from working?
I grew into it more from working there. Originally, when I started working there, I dealt with Magic the Gathering and toys. But as time went on, I kind of turned into like the glorified librarian of back issues and got sent upstairs to banishment by myself, where I work with all of the, or where I work with all of the older comics and stuff.
We've got a visitor. Hey, hello, Dealey. Yeah, Are you going to say something? Say hello to Ryan.
Hello, Dealey.
No, you can't because I've got my earphones in. You're going to have to sit down, aren't you? Going to have to sit down. He says, very good podcasting performance, Deals.
I've barricaded the door, so there will be no visitors over here. I'm sure there's going to be dogs breathing at the door at some point in time, but I've barricaded the door so they can't come in and yell at me.
Well, that's what I was going to... Actually, that's I was going to ask you about... I know you've got your dogs. Tell the listeners about your dogs before we'll go back to the comics in a minute. But
sure. I have 3 dogs. I have Cerberus, who is my dog. He's a 9-year-old chocolate lab. He's about as useful as a guard dog as a stuffed animal. We also have Trip, who is 6 years old. He is a rescue from up north. I have no idea what breed he is. I call him a one-eyed what the fuck, because he's like, we sent away for a DNA test on him so we could figure out what he was. And if you actually look at the DNA test, it's a whole bunch of large breeds. Yeah. And he's like lap-sized. Yeah. So I don't know what happened there. Apparently, if you mix enough large dogs together, you get a small dog. Yeah. And then the last one would be Apollo, who is half husky, half something else. And he is a sassy little child. He's like He's a year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
And you may hear him every once in a while. He'll come to the door and he'll yell at me because the door is locked and he knows I'm in here. So if you hear random squeaking in the background, that's Apollo yelling at me.
Do you know their exact ages or roughly? Or?
Cerberus, I know his exact age. He's 9. Trip and Apollo, their ages are kind of a guess. They're both rescues from up north, so they don't know exactly how old they were when they brought them into the shelter.
Then after that, it was our Chatterbox episode for January 2021. I think I started the year planning to do a Chatterbox episode every month and then deciding that sometimes there's quite a lot of editing involved, and because there's about 3 or 4 tracks to deal with, and also factoring in everybody meeting up once a month, it's not always possible or easy. So particularly when one of your guests is in the States. But anyway, we've done a number of Chatterbox episodes this year. Let's have a listen to a bit of that one. Let's move on to our quiz and see whether we know any of these answers. I don't know how difficult this is going to be. I told it to choose a selection of questions. So, I don't know the answers either, so I can help. So my main problem will be being able to pronounce these words because they're pretty horrible. So question 1, leukophobia is the irrational fear of which colour? That's Leuko phobia. What colour?
Orange.
Orange. Any other bets, or are we going to go with orange as a
I just thought Lucozade. I don't know why. I'm going to say red. I don't know why I said it like that, but I'm going to say red. You're channeling your inner Sylvester there, weren't you?
Yeah, there's not many.
You want to choose a colour, Lisa?
No, I'll go with red. I have no idea. So.
I'll go with orange. I can't see there's any clue in that first part of the word that kind of you might. Yeah, Lucozade is as good a guess as any. Then after that, we had Shy Yeti in the big hits of 1993. In 2021, we've had a number of episodes about music, and we've had 3 different hosts for them because we sort of, I think this is maybe the last, or one of the last music episodes we did with Nick, and then of course there were the episodes from the 60s into the 70s with Martin, and then Lee and I talked about some of the music from the later 90s. So, and we expect to hear more from Martin and hopefully Lee in 2022 because there's still plenty of years to discuss. Then episode 408, we had quizzes with Callum, and there were also Sutton Park clips. We had a chat in episode 409 with Toppy and Nick, which I think those two don't get to talk to each other that often. So I think, in fact, that might be one of the first times, certainly for a whole episode. So we ought to have a clip from that.
And no, I, as I say, I think my earliest memory is just short of that, actually, 70. I remember being very small and being on the London Underground. I remember looking up at the light. And I also remember I've always told myself I remember my second birthday, again, being very small, surrounded in wrapping paper. I also remember being in a pushchair and being very cozy when on a rainy day. And I had the sort of oxygen bubbly kind of thing that they put across, the see-through thing. And I remember being very cozy.
But that's interesting, Nick, because my memories begin at that age too, and I just figured that's the way it was with everybody, and I learned slowly that most people don't have memories at that age.
No, they don't. This is it. My friend Louise, of one of the extras we did on the DVDs with the acting, and I sat her down to talk about things, and she doesn't seem to have any memories prior to 10. And I think, whoa, I've got tons and tons of stuff from going back from when I was 2. It's it's weird, isn't it, when you realise that actually people haven't got that ability to kind of, things just haven't stuck.
My mum always says, "Oh, you've got a good memory," to me, and I don't think I have. But then that's because I've got you as a friend who's got a much better memory than me. So maybe I have better memory than my mum. I should have said we're into February by now, and episode 410 was there's nothing quite like a good trip to Pluto. And that was the return of Ryan, and we went to Pluto. Yeah, and did quizzes about comic books. Then it was our Valentine's special, Move Over Darling, Valentine's Day special 2021. Bettina came visiting, hoping to, she wanted to meet August Evans. Obviously, August Evans, as we know, used to be Damius Trinklehorn, her ex-fiancé, and she was hoping to kind of trigger his memories and get back together with him. I mean, maybe not all in one episode, but she was hoping to start the process. And, I mean, it hasn't been altogether unsuccessful, but we should definitely have a clip from this episode.
Here we are. August. This is Bettina. She's here for a portrait sitting. Oh yes. Oh, hello. Oh, have we met before? Darling, it's possible. Oh, it's just that your face looks familiar. Are you sure you've never sat for one of my portraits before? Oh, no, darling. No, I haven't, but... yes. Well, you just come and sit over here. I'll just do a sketch to start with. Okay. How long have you been painting? How long have I been painting? For years. For years. It's fine. Okay, darling. Okay. Just over here, Bettina. Yeah. Tea and coffee's just coming, and yeah. Oh, good. And biscuits, I hope. Now let me see. Yes. Just getting myself prepared.
Then episode 412 was Movie Time, a trio of years in film. And we did 1967, 1975 and 1983. And then our fabulous correspondence in Berlin was episode 413. This is when I got to talk to my old friend Andrew, who lives in Berlin with his daughter, and we talked to her as well. I was hoping we'd get them back again this year, but that's not happened. But maybe it will happen again in 2022. We'll have a little clip from that one. Yeah, I haven't watched everything that we recorded yet because it's all been digitised, and it's difficult to know where to start. So I just dip in but I did find an episode we did one summer's day in 1993, where we got very, very wet because we went for a walk into the woods, and then it poured with rain, even though it was summer. And I think it helped our acting because there was an edge of hysteria because we were soaking wet. But,
I think there was always a tension between us, Paul, because we had different aims. I think I wanted to kind of make sure we covered a distance or got to where we were going. We were always making films, which kind of they're not compatible really.
No, particularly that.
But I think we managed to achieve both our goals.
Yeah, I mean, the time we got soaking wet, that was a day trip. So, but I think that is definitely the case when we were doing our very, very. Sorry, Dealey the cat's arrived now. Hi, Dealey the cat. You're sitting in front of my microphone. I can't see the screen. Sit down. Yeah, sit down. Please sit down. Dealey is probably asking you questions as well.
Yeah.
He's 16 and a half, which
Yeah, Hannah wants to say that when I took her walking in Wales, that she also got very wet, and I think she wants to make a point that maybe it's my fault that this is the kind of thing I do to people.
Because we were walking through some extremely wet ferns.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of sheep around there.
Yeah.
And it was very wet, so I was wearing waterproof trousers. And it just started pouring.
Oh, dear.
We had to stop. Everyone got soaking wet because I had to put on my raincoat. And everyone was so wet. And then he got a bit annoyed that we had to stop. Everyone was, like, literally soaking wet. And when we arrived at the hotel that we were staying in, when we got into the room, I could see behind us that we left a trail, like a puddle, behind the front door, because that's how wet we were.
I tried my best to give everyone a good experience, but, you know.
Yeah. Then episode 414 was Shy Yeti's Chatterbox for February. Then we had Paul and Martin versus the Big Hits of 1966. And then A Sleepy Morning for Shy Yeti. I think we had a few guests, and I was being lazy. We were in lockdown, of course, again around this time, so I was working from home at this point. Then we had episode 417, Shy Yeti and the Return of the Comic Book Kid. We went to Saturn for a comic mart, Brian and I, and Yeti Uncle John was mischievous as usual.
I've got a couple of outdoor camellias which should bloom. They're in quite reasonable sized buds now, and then it'll be mostly the daffodils because we've got lots of different types: small ones, big ones, white ones, narcissi type, jonquil type, trumpet type. And so the flowering season can last quite a long time, actually. There'll be daffodils out for a good month, if not 5 weeks. So that'd be nice. And the crocus are out as well now. In fact, they're nearly going over. And the primroses, of course. We've got loads of, as you remember, loads of primroses that just self-set, like a carpet of the flowers.
So that sounds nice, Dils. Dils might come and visit. They can sniff around the garden.
I don't think that our three will be very happy. The girls won't be happy.
Oh, well, Dilly would be carried like a baby.
Beth's not happy because we realised her favourite place to sleep is the beanbag in the study. That is her place. Nobody else sleeps there, and she sleeps there every night. But oh dear, the beanbag was on the floor, so I think she fell out of it last night, and I haven't seen her get back into it today. So she may be trying to. We'll have to search the house because she'll be in, but she'll have found another or a really good hiding place. So
let's all go there, Deals. It's nearly as mad a house as it is here. Then we had An LP a Day Keeps the Librarians at Bay. We talked to Andy Priestner from Oh So Many podcasts, and we talked about music. Hopefully we'll do so again, but I know he's working in Sweden at the moment, so I don't know if he's even available for podcasting. But this was fun. It was probably the best subject that we could have talked about together, music, because so much about TV. People say I know a lot about TV, but I don't know a lot compared to most of my friends, or most of my TV-liking friends. So yeah, we'll definitely have a clip from this. I was a big fan of Pulp, probably as much as Blur.
Okay, so my wife's a big fan of Pulp, and she was there at Glastonbury when he did that stance. That at the end of Common People when they did the main stage, and so she was always going on about that constantly. I was there. It's like, okay, whatever. But from around that time, my favourite band was probably the Wannadies. Do you know the Wannadies?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen them live actually.
Yeah, I did.
I think I saw that.
Alex was with me, and she went from my podcast. My sister, and she was in the mosh pit at the front, and I was like, "No, that looks terrifying."
Yeah. I didn't like going too close. Although when I saw Pulp in Birmingham in '95, I was surprisingly right at the front. Which was a cool place to be. But usually I didn't because it was a bit too rough. But, did you go to many sort of gigs around that time?
So, because we were in Oxford at that point, so the Zodiac, which was quite a good place. So we saw quite a few things there. But that was also around the time that I got with Marisa and we went to Glastonbury for 3 years in a row. And that was very much more her. She was much more muso and indie pop. Well, not indie pop, indie. And I was more like, I like indie pop. And I was like, well, I'll go, but we'll go to different stages. So she'd be watching, I don't know, Super Furry Animals or Smashing Pumpkins. And I'd be at the other stage watching Kaniki. And it would be like, and I don't care. This is what I like.
Then we had What Will People Think? This is when we got to hear what was in people's minds, got to hear what they were thinking. It was quite fun. Then Things Are Going to Get Better. It's 1994. Now, this must have been the last episode we did with Nick about music because, we should definitely have a clip from this as it's the end of an era. So our next number one is, again, I don't hate this song, but it just never really excited me very much. It's another number one for Take That. In fact, I can't remember if it could be I can't remember if it was their first number one. It was from their second album, and it was the 5th single. So maybe they'd probably already had a number one before now. But most of their songs seem to do pretty well. Everything Changes. I think this is the one. Right. Then didn't Keith used to sing "Everything Changes" Achoo or something?
Achoo, yes, that's right. Yeah.
And I think I probably prefer, because Take That sort of came back around like late noughties, and I think I prefer them. And they've been together ever since in one form or another. I think I prefer a lot of their songs from that era. I think it's probably more that I just didn't really like boy bands in this period. So, whereas now they're not really boys anymore. They're more. They can be. I can look at Take That now just as a band sort of thing. They're not being marketed. Yeah. They're not being marketed as sex symbols, which they were back in '94. We had talked about doing further years together, but I already sort of knew that Lee was up for talking about it, and Lee, he knows a lot about music, and whereas Nick was beginning to struggle, which he admitted to, it was fine. But we've got Nick for lots of other types of episodes. So then we had Yeti Hugs and Other Horrors. By the way, we're well into March. We're nearly out the other side of March at this point. Yeti Hugs and Other Horrors was one of my poetry books. And, we did a special episode, 10th anniversary episode for that. Then we had Shy Yeti King of Libraries, kind of ironic, seeing as, I don't know whether you know this or not, I don't work in libraries anymore. In fact, I'm not working at all at the moment, due to health and all sorts of things. And basically trying to make a break from that college because of Control Incorporated running it. But I don't know if we've discussed this or not yet properly. It's been mentioned a few times. I don't know if we've gone into it a lot. I'm trying to keep my head down at the moment and just be glad that I'm not there. But anyway, so kind of ironic that there was an episode, Shy Yeti King of Libraries. Anyway, it was an April Fool's episode anyway. There's a funny bit with Ryan near the end. I think I should probably put a clip of that. Oh, April Fool! Oh, yes, April Fool!
April Fool, Paul.
April Fool.
When did you guess?
Quite some time ago. I was just playing along because I knew that it was all a joke. I think there's part of me that likes the idea of being king of libraries. Still. Oh, who's that at the door? I'll go and have a look. Who could it be? Not expect anyone. We're not really supposed to have people around at the moment, still, are No, I didn't think so. You all right, Paul? Well, you seem quite sort of... I was expecting you either to be cross or to not believe that it was a joke. No, it's fine. You've tried this before, so I was expecting it. I'm always expecting it. It's fine. As much as I would have liked to have been the King of Libraries, I also know there's no such thing. At least, nothing I could find. To Google it, there was a moment or two where I hoped, but...
Oh dear, poor Paul. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Paul. You're not upset, are you? No, I'm not upset. Guys, there's something. There's a lot of them outside. Apparently, they want to see the King of Libraries. It's very funny, Cromitty. No, Paul. These are your groupies. They want to speak to you. I don't have groupies. Come on, guys. We now know that none of this is real. That it's a joke. So time to finish. I think. But Paul, there are people outside. Well, when they say people, are you being serious? People outside? Yes, Paul. They've read the article. They saw the article. They saw your face. It's all over social media. But that was part of your joke, wasn't it? Yes, the fake website. Well, I guess it was live, but it wasn't a real site. Oh dear, who's got to publish that?
Well, I did post it around a few social media sites, just to give it a bit more credence and stuff.
Oh, Martin. Well, I'm just going to have to go and speak to these people and tell them that I'm not really King of Libraries and that it was all a joke. Are you sure this isn't a joke? Are you sure you didn't set this up, Paul? No, I didn't. Oh dear. Come on then, I better go and speak to these people.
Yeah, the thing is that they're not people.
What? Who are they then if they're not people? Well, you see, they're shelving imps. Shelving imps? Oh, God, not shelving imps.
Oh dear.
Oh, no. You need the front door open. They're coming in. Oh, my goodness. Oh, damn. Ouch. They're coming into the flat. No. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, dear. I should have shut the door better. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oh, damn. Oh, ouch. Oh, horrible things. We need to leave them back to the library or something. I don't know. How are we going to get rid of them?
I'm sure somebody will save us.
Somebody will save us. I don't know about that. I've got plenty of books and DVDs and stuff in this flat. They'll probably think this is a library. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, if we never started this now. Or maybe you'll learn next time with your Uncle John. Oh dear. Look, what's going on? I can see a shape at the window.
Have no fear. It is I, Ryan, here to save the day. Stand back, foul beast.
Oh my goodness. Give him a good punching. Oh, God. Stop it. Then we had episode 423. We're into April now. Looking in on Lookin' with Paul and Nick. We talked about Lookin', and we had some particular additions to discuss. I think we'd missed a month with Chatterbox at this point. I don't think we did a March one. This one might have been recorded in March, but not edited until April. It's our springish special.
Can I tell you something I just discovered randomly on YouTube here in America?
Yeah.
An old, not sure of the year, but it was black and white video, and it was a series from the UK, The Invisible Man. Are you guys aware of this?
Deborah Watling.
Ah, yes, I remember.
Oh, is it the David McCallum version?
McCallum.
Well,
First colour, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the David McCallum version was a brief thing here in America, which I remember vividly because I watched it. It was
remember
good.
the Gemini Man as well, weren't you? Then old Ben Murphy.
But this was black and white video from the UK, and it was The Invisible Man, and they had very practical special effects to show the presence of the Invisible Man. And I've just seen like 6 episodes of it recently.
I think
I don't know anything more about it.
I do think that it may have been repeated, like on late night back in the 80s when I used to set the video for all sorts of things. If it's the series that we think it is, it was aired from September 1958 to July 1959, and one of the little, she would have been a little girl in it, is played by an actress called Deborah Watling, who we know as being one of Patrick Troughton's companions in Doctor Who.
The Kaiser Pudding Girl.
Yes, that we mentioned earlier. So spooky. But yeah, there were 2 seasons, and
I have them. They were released by. Was it Network? I think it's a Network one. So
the only thing I can think of when I think of that series, but I don't think I've ever seen a full episode.
No.
There's just a picture of Debbie Watling holding the hand of the Invisible Man, and there's this sort of
overcoat
with no head. Yeah,
and very long arms.
I guess it partly exists because it's an ITV show and they seem to look after their things much better.
I think it's an ITC. I think it's possibly on film. I think that's possibly why it survives more than anything. Because ITV actually were notoriously bad, weren't they, in the 60s and 70s, keeping their videotape stuff, certainly.
Yes.
Then we had Yeti Uncle John Magpie Fancier. This is when Yeti Uncle John, before he was in shame jail, and he decided to be a magpie fancier rather than a pigeon fancier. Probably have a listen to a clip of that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Listeners, here we are. We've got the birds in front of us. They look wonderful, yes. What wonderful costumes. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, Yeti Uncle John. 13, it's an unlucky number.
Yes, very unlucky.
Oh, well, you know, I got a dozen, but it was a sort of buy one, get one free situation. Oh dear. Well, I guess we needn't fixate on the number of magpies that you've got for your display, but we'll hand it over to you. Thank you, yes. So, birds, if you're ready, they're going to do a sort of little display that I taught them. Yeah, great, okay. Yes. Birds, if you like to start now. Yes.
There we go.
Yes, up into the sky. Wow. It's amazing that they're doing a display.
Wow, you've done this really quickly, Yeti Uncle John. How did you teach them so many tricks so quickly?
Well, I'll have to admit that they did come partially trained. In fact, this is something that they already did before. I can't take all the credit, or any of the credit, yes, but I was very lucky. I did get a good price for them. Yes, well, I don't know that I'm fully behind all this. But I guess you know what you're doing, and I guess, you wouldn't have them if you weren't allowed to have them. I got them from a dealer, a legitimate dealer. Right. Well, they're doing a wonderful display. Maybe you'll get them to sing next time. Yes, I'm not quite sure what a magpie sounds like when it sings. They're quite noisy birds, aren't they? Sort of making a noise. is what you associate with magpies, not really singing a song, but I guess they must do. Yeah, gosh. If Uncle John, it's getting a bit cloudy over there. I think it's going to rain or something. Maybe even thunder. There really are black clouds. Yes, Uncle John, maybe you should get them in.
Yes, I think that possibly we're all going to get soaked if we stay there much longer.
Oh, yeah. Maybe call them in, did you, Uncle John?
Yes, I'll call them in. Yeah. What's wrong? Nothing. Yeah. It's Uncle John. Something's wrong. What is it? You see, I did the bit where they go up and they go out to do their display. I haven't actually practiced calling them back in again. Thought they'd just kind of finish when they were done, if you know what I mean.
Well, it seems like they're just doing the same display, and continuously.
Yes, you could be right.
Oh dear. So you don't know how to call them back?
Well, I know in theory how to call them back, so I'll just go and do that. I'm sure it'll be fine. Magpies, come back down again. Come home. Come home. Oh, blimey, what's going on? I hope it'll work.
They do seem to have stopped doing the formation.
Oh, yes. I'm sure they'll come back in a minute.
I don't know, something's a bit odd.
Yeah, they're kind of hovering above you, Uncle John. And they're making quite a noise.
Yes, I would like to look at this.
Come in, magpies. Come in, my birds. Come home. Come home. Why are you staring at me like that? Please, what's going on? Oh, please, no, stop it. Oh, dear, oh, ow. Oh, dear, oh, ouch. Get off. Oh, ouch. Oh, ow. Oh, no, get off. Oh, you're tickling. Oh, no, ouch. Oh, ow.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, gosh, I think we're going to have to help him. Come on, everybody. Let's go and help him. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Then we had Hello and Goodbye to the Big Hits of 1967. That was with Martin Holmes, of course, not Sniffy Martin. Then we had Heading Off to the Open University. That was an episode with Troby and Lisa. And we haven't really got much further with that yet. Although now I'm not working, I can focus on it more. Yeah, the Open University, I think that'd be a good idea, with us all teaching lessons on our specialist subjects. Lisa's was history, Troby's was science, and mine was chocolate bars. Yeah. So, Lisa, would you like to continue with your history lesson, please?
Yes, that would be a pleasure. We're going to move on a little bit now from Henry I to Edward II, who became king in 1307. So we've now moved on to the 14th century. And Edward II was the son of Edward I, unsurprisingly, who is also known as Edward Longshanks, or the Hammer of the Scots. And this is because when he was king, the Scots were quite rebellious, so he kept having to go and put down rebellions, and he is shown on screen in the film Braveheart, played by Patrick McGowan, putting down the revolt by William Wallace, played by Mel Gibson. And I don't know if you remember, we once visited the Tower of London, and one of the beefeaters was very scathing about the film Braveheart, because I think a lot of American tourists kept asking me about William Wallace and was he executed here and all that sort of stuff. But Edward II was probably not the best king. He didn't possess any of the characteristics that a chivalrous or king should have. So he wasn't very good at fighting. He liked swimming, which apparently was considered unhealthy because he was communing with water, which at that point you couldn't drink because it was full of dirt and things.
Dirty water.
Yeah. So they used to drink beer instead of water because it got boiled up.
So could you swim in beer then? Would that have been better?
I think that would have been deemed quite unusual as well. So, yeah.
A swimming pool full of beer, I wouldn't say no to that.
No. So he had several male favourites, leading to the rumour that, because obviously at this point, not liking women was considered to be against the will of God. So that was considered not to be good. And he was disposed. He wasn't disposed. He was kind of disposed. He was deposed by his wife Isabella and her lover Roger Mortimer. And it is rumoured that he was killed in Berkeley Castle. I mean, he was killed in Berkeley Castle, but it was rumoured he was killed by the insertion of a poker into his bottom, because it wouldn't show any signs, because kings' bodies were displayed after death. So, because nobody would think to look there. So,
Miss.
Yeah.
Do they know whether it was a hot poker or a cold poker?
They believe it was a hot poker.
Okay, thank you.
Or several hot pokers.
That's a plant, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is a plant called a red hot poker.
It wasn't the plant. It was
wasn't
an
the
actual
plant. It was,
physical
all right, just checking.
poker.
Then we had August Evans' Extraterrestrial Art Exhibition, episode 428. That was another one with Ryan. No wonder he's taking a rest. He's got a sabbatical on Jupiter at the moment. Not that we can't get there. He forgets that. We've got a spaceship. He can never escape us. But yeah, God, we did put him through a few things in these episodes. Then we had an episode called What Little Word Can Mean So Much. This was like random words that we pulled from a hat or somewhere, and then Nick and I had to say what we associated with them. It was a new idea. I think we did it a couple of times. Now we're into May. We've got Bettina's super duper brand new robot butler. Basically, Bettina was having a hard time with it during lockdown without her usual sort of staff. I mean, she lives in a big house. Half of it or so is hired out to a charity who shows people around it. But anyway, she doesn't have masses of staff, but she has some staff, and she was having trouble. And so Cuthbert came in and helped, and it was good. Hi listeners, it's me, Paul the Shayeti. How are you doing? I'm okay. Just trying to get in touch with Bettina, actually. Yeah. Not getting any reply. You try to call her, but
beep beep beep.
That's a strange
beep
noise.
beep beep.
Hello.
Beep beep beep. Bettina Dupre answer phone service. Cuthbert the robot speaking. How can I help?
Cuthbert, oh, it's you. Hi.
Oh, hello, Paul. It is you.
How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Good.
It is good to hear from you.
Are you are you taking Bettina's phone calls now as well?
Paul, I am. Yes.
I hear you've been doing lots of housework.
I have, indeed, I have. It is really most enjoyable.
Yes. Well, yes. I knew you'd enjoy it. Yeah, but is Bettina actually there?
She is not currently in the room. Paul, no. I have not seen her in some minutes now that you mention it.
You've not seen her? What do you mean you've not seen her? She's gone for a walk or something?
She does not appear to have taken a walk. No, Paul.
Well, isn't that a bit strange? She's not gotten a taxi, or somebody's not come and picked her up or anything?
No, Paul. My records suggest that she has not left the building.
Is there any way you can trace her? Maybe she's... I don't want to be an alarmist, but what if she's fallen, or what if she's... Well, I don't know.
There is nothing to suggest that she is hurt, although her heartbeat has increased.
In the garden?
I have not buried her in the garden. No, Paul, I have not yet begun my gardening chores.
No, not in the garden. I don't mean that. I don't mean she's dug a hole. No. He's offered his services to go back there since. I don't know. I think he does still nip back there. I think Cuthbert is equal to about to a whole team of cleaners. But then we had another episode with Ryan called Getting Comic with Jay and Ryan. That was nice to get Jay on the show and Ryan at the same time, because they both know about comics and like comics, and that was good. I sat there and let them talk. No, I asked questions.
What I am curious about is, do you have a favorite comic book, Jay?
Like a particular issue, or you mean, or just a title?
Let's go series.
Well, probably my very favorite was the Mandrake and Ostrander series of the Spectre.
Oh.
The Spectre's probably my third favorite DC character, but he's not used very often anymore.
He's too powerful.
Yeah, he's kind of So, but overall, I'd probably still go with Batman as my favorite. I have always had a thing for Vampirella comics, which isn't part of any of the the big two or anything. And she's switched. She's been with a couple different publishers.
Yeah,
but
she's with Boom Studios right now.
Yeah, but I've always liked that character.
That surprises me, if I'm being perfectly honest.
In a good way?
I can't honestly say, like, working in a comic book store, I can't honestly say I know anybody who buys Vampirella for the story. And you didn't take me, and you don't strike me as a boobs man.
No, well, yeah. No, but I've always been a fan. I mean, the skimpy outfit and the boobs aside, it's especially the more violent issues of it. Anything where I like those comic book representations of like hell or hell, like creatures from hell and things like that. So I always found her interesting because she's basically using her. She's she's like the people she fights, but she's not. So.
Then we had Shush, It's Oh So Britpop, the big hits of 1995. That was an episode with Lee, who's been on the show before talking about music, and this sort of followed on from where we left off with Nick last time. Then we had a Eurovision history lesson from the UK. That was with Martin Holmes and I talking about all of the songs, and it from the point of view. I think we've talked about the winners of Eurovision Song Contest before now, or I have, or we have, or something, but we've never actually talked about the songs that the UK have released, including all the ones that didn't do very well, or didn't do so well, or the ones that were almost big, but missed out. Yeah, I think that was Nick and I, we talked about Eurovision winners a year or two ago, and this was sort of from a UK perspective. Then we had episode 434, Shy Yeti and the Secrets of the Dice. Now, this is where sort of the start of, things with Yeti Uncle John ending up in shame jail happened. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, because he'd done so many other things. But the dice sort of sent him a bit loopy, Yeti Uncle John. Yeah, he got fixated because there was a way that the dice could predict things that happened to you or something. I can't remember quite how it worked, but then there was a way of doing it where it would read your future, and that's what sent him loopy. Then we had Happy 5th Birthday Shy Life Little Show. That was at the end of May. Hi listeners, it's me. Now for this, it's quite a special episode, and we've got a guest here who we haven't spoken to for a while. I don't think she even knows how special this episode is yet, but it's Bev from work. Hi Bev from work.
Hi Paul. Hi listeners. How you doing?
We're good. Now I need to tell you why this episode is special. It's because this episode will be going out as part of our 5th anniversary episode. So we've been doing the show for 5 years and 435 episodes, something like that. And so yes, I thought it was nice to be able to speak to you and have you on this special episode.
Well, thank you for having me. And hip hip hooray, 5 years. That is a milestone. That is wonderful news. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in each week and listening to the episodes. and just thinking about the things that we talk about and the things we say. So we celebrate you and thank you for being here, because if it was not for you, then there would be no show, there'd be no listeners. So hip hip hooray, thank you.
Doing the show definitely kept me busy during lockdowns. I still released as many episodes as usual, but it was never a chore. It was always a good way of escaping into the little podcast world. But yeah, one of the things I have missed, and another reason this is special, this is one of the first times I've recorded outside for more than a few minutes since about last summer, because I don't have sort of very many areas I can go to when we're in lockdown. I don't have a back garden. My front yard is right by the railway station, so that's noisy. So yeah, I think last summer on my summer holidays, the one place I went was some woods near my house, and I recorded in them. And this is possibly now, today, the first time I've recorded outside for a while. So because we're sort of, at the moment, we're edging out of the lockdown, but yeah, who knows?
Hey, if you go down the woods today, I'm sure you see someone. So maybe going down the woods today, you might see Paul.
I don't know. I've got away. I don't know if I can run very far these days. Then we had Shy Yeti's Further Random Words with Nick. I think that was our last episode of May. No, it wasn't. No, we had one more. The last episode of May was Shy Yeti and Martin versus the Big Hits of 1968, which was a year we'd done a little bit about when Nick and I had done an episode about our birth years. The first episode of June was Shy Yeti and the Intergalactic Quiz League. Ryan was back for that. Then we had Autograph Hunters Anonymous, Tales of the Stars. That was an episode that Nick did with his friend John. That was one of two episodes that Nick took over. It's always good when Nick takes over an episode.
There's one thing that always interests me in the sort of times where we've met famous people and it's been slightly awkward. Also at the Close, years and years ago, was Leonard Rossiter.
Oh, yeah.
Leonard Rossiter was there. I think it was... He just finished the first series of Reggie, but hadn't gone out. But I knew him from Rising Down. This is about 1976. Yeah. And you kind of think, oh, God, is he off the telly? But the first person I met was Don McLean from
Cracker Jack.
Yes, he was. He came along to a toy shop. I can't remember. There were two toy shops in the 70s in Salisbury. One of them was Playbox 2000. The other was Joyland. And I think it was Playbox 2000. But yeah, he came along. He was with this megaphone, I seem to remember. I can't remember why. But and he was a lot of fun and very natural bloke. And I just thought, wow, if he decides to stay and work in the shop, that he won't appear in Cracker Jack. You know, I was kind of, in my 4-year-old mind, was kind of thinking, if this happened to them, that happened to him, he wouldn't appear on telly. It would kind of, I'm trying to make the connection, you know. So I've never actually met anyone famous like that on before. Woo!
I've only ever had kind of two really, well, not really embarrassing, but only kind of two things where I've been a bit. And one was I went and interviewed Sarah Douglas, who I had a terrible crush on. She was the female villain in Superman 2. She was Ursa.
That's right.
She was very tall, which was not something that I kind of knew. And I'd gone out to interview her, and I just didn't know what to say. And I was getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And we sat in her cottage, and her mother was bringing out cups of tea, and I'd gone with a couple of other people, and I just didn't know what to say. I was just so shy. And then she started talking to me and just saying, "Would you like to ask me about?" And I said, "Yeah," which made a really bad radio interview, because like it was supposed to be me asking her questions. Why did this happen? And she was just going, "And then what would you like to ask me about?" And I thought, oh, this has gone terribly. And then at the end of it, after we'd drunken tea and eaten her biscuits, where there's terrible pictures of this woman that I'd really had a crush on for years, and me just sweltering, kind of going, huh.
Then we had Swan Flew Over the Magpie's Nest. That was the continuing story of Yeti Uncle John's mission to be a magpie fancier. Then we had Elementary Dear Listeners, Reading the Detectives. That was a chat I did with Martin Holmes about detective fiction, and we sort of did a sister episode about. We talked about books, and then I talked to him for Vision on Sound about detectives on TV who come from books. So, yeah, we recorded those around the same time. Then episode 442, Shy Yeti's Home Sweet Home. That was Nick and I talking about all the different places we'd lived, and the funny thing was, I think, that I did quite a lot of moving around when I went to university, and then when I first started working after university, and then I moved into the house that I live in at the moment. And on the whole of that time, Nick had been living with his parents. Nick did a little bit of moving when he was younger. When he was a child, he did move across town. But as soon as I settled down and have been in the same house for the last 21 or so years, Nick, all his stories happened since then. Next up, we had The Day the Donkeys Came for Tea. That was about the donkeys that we sponsor. And when they came for tea, basically, that was an interesting day. You ought to hear something from that, I think. Oh, it's funny you say that, Ashley. Yes, I completely agree. I hope you're enjoying the refreshments. Yes, of course. Marvellous. Hi, listeners. I'm just here with Ashley. We're just hanging out, having some refreshments. It's all going very well so far. Yes. Zena is over the other side of the room. I think I ought to go and have a word. Dear.
Paul, have you seen Dealey?
Have I seen Dealey?
He's quite upset.
Is he? Why?
Well, I'm not sure he is enjoying having the guests in the house.
Oh dear, I'll have to go and speak to him.
Yeah, maybe you should do.
Oh, okay. Have you seen Yeti Uncle John?
I haven't, I'm afraid, no.
Oh, right, never mind. Listeners, I thought everything was going okay, but apparently Dealey's upset. Dealey, what's wrong? Huh? What's wrong? Don't you like meeting your whatever relative they are to you? Do you not enjoy that? Okay, well, they won't be staying for good. They're just coming to visit. They're lovely. They're really lovely. You should get to know them. They'll probably let you sit on their backs or something. Maybe on their head. No, maybe not. Maybe I should encourage you. Just think about it and come out and meet them. All right? Come on, listeners. Let's go and meet Zena now. Zena, how are you? Yes. Yes, it is the first time we've met face to face. Paul, are you just saying words? Are you just pretending, or do you really understand them? I do sort of understand them. I did watch quite a lot of YouTube videos with donkeys, and I kind of understand what they're saying to a point. Wow, Paul, I did not know. I thought Ike had wired you up with some translation device. No. Just instinct, I think. Oh, Paul, you are marvellous. Thank you. Well, it's just a talent I seem to have. Then we hadn't done one for a month or two. Episode 444, Winter, Late June, The Unruly Return of Shy Yeti's Chatterbox. So did another Chatterbox then. Then Lost Gems from the Matinee Minutia Archives. That was stuff that Matinee Minutia had recorded and about films. And I was in the chat room when they talked about them. I think this is for their watch parties, and it was recordings they'd not used any. It was in interesting sort of bits and pieces on films that they'd not talked about. So they said, "Do you want the recordings? Because I don't think we're going to be putting it out." And I took bits from the recordings. In fact, I've still got more recordings to use at a later date. Then we had One Burp from Death and Other Odd Revelations. That was a big episode in that we learnt about things that were happening to the regulars that have since sort of become very, very sort of important. That's when we found out Ig was pregnant, I think, and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, big episode, all from a summer picnic. We're into the end of June now, and we've got Shayeti's Fond Farewell to the 60s, the big hits of 1969. That was Martin Holmes and I again. So our next number one was, for 5 weeks, it was Honky Tonk Woman by the Rolling Stones. I know we don't always think of the Stones as being a singles act, but that was one of the ones that was released as a single. Although whether it was actually on an album, whether it was still doing that old thing of releasing an album and then having the single separately.
I must admit, I do like early Stone stuff. It's those Hot Rocks compilations they did. They are very, very good. It's like you, as the kids would have it today, everyone a banger. Banging tune. Well, I'm probably showing you age.
It was released as a single only release. So,
but I got it on an LP. I think you'll find it's about 20 years later.
Yes, yeah. Then we had You Can Never Have Too Much Juicy Gossip. That was a sort of follow-on from the picnic episode. We found out even more stuff. It sounds bad saying it's juicy gossip, but it's kind of juicy gossip. Then we had Regrets, etc. Part 1. C'est sans mais regret. That was Nick and I talking about regrets or things that, what ifs. Although it says Part 1, I don't think I can't remember. Did we have a Part 2 episode that I've not released yet? I think I was just being fancy, making it sound... I mean, who's to say we probably could do a second episode if we haven't recorded one. Then episode 450, this is the middle of July, The High Life for Robot Big Fatty. We found out we've been going with Robot Big Fatty, and I definitely need to have a clip from this.
How wonderful to see you. However are you doing?
Oh, hi. I'm very well, thank you. My, this place really is rather impressive.
I know, it is, indeed. Although I must say that I've quickly gotten used to it.
You do look very at home, I must say.
It's actually quite funny that you've shown up now. I was just on Zoom with Big Fatty. We'd almost finished, but you must say hello before he rings off.
Oh, yes, of course. Hey, Big Fatty, how are you?
Hi, Paul. It's great. Yes, great to speak to you. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. I didn't know you and Robot Big Fatty were in contact. Hasn't he changed? I know it's been over a year since we last saw him, but wow.
I've not heard from him much since we did that experiment together. He's really done well for himself, hasn't he? Oh, excuse me.
Yes. But how? I mean, even his speech is different. He's living in this big house. It's incredible.
It's a mystery, and no mistake. Try and find an answer. That's all I can suggest. Well, look, I better go. Yes, look after yourself.
Oh, yes. Oh, just a minute. I was going to ask you... Oh, he's gone.
Good to see him, looking so well, Paul.
Then we had Are You Ready for Your Close-Up Mr. Yeti, a trio of years in film 2. That was Nick and I. We talked about 1965, 1979 and 1990. And I think we did release 3 film episodes this year. Then episode 452, an episode off over at Round the Archives. Now, this was basically, Round the Archives were on hiatus at the time, and I was worried that there were some really good articles that we'd done for Round the Archives, Toppy and I, that A, it would be nice to advertise Round the Archives on the Charlotte podcast, and B, it would be nice if people who maybe hadn't heard the Toppy articles got to hear them. So we basically made the episode up of those articles. Not every article that we've done. We may release some more, but some of them, I don't want to release the ones that were kind of quite recent at the time. Then we have episode 453, Putting Your Clothes Back On for Charity. That's what we did. Well, last year, remember, we took our clothes off for charity. This year we put them back on again. Then the last episode of July was Shayeti's Pride 48 live streaming event for 2021. Now, that was Nick and I, we had some problems doing that episode because it was a bit, problems with their tech, with our tech, I'm not sure, but we released the episode, and also I patched it up a bit and added some extra material because we ended up starting later because things were going wrong, but we had to stop around the same time because the next show needed to go out, and anyway. So it's not exactly what went out live. A lot of what went out live would have been quite boring to listen to because of the problems. So, the podcast version is the far superior version of that episode. Okay, right. 2 more questions. Question 9. Which Disney film had the tagline, "One great, big, wonderful motion picture, The Little Mermaid, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 101 Dalmatians," or Mulan? Chat room. Sorry, I shouldn't dictate. Do you want to ask the chat room? Yes, let's ask the chat room. Okay. Chat room, do you know which of those films had the tagline, "One great, big, wonderful motion picture, The Little Mermaid, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 101 Dalmatians," or Mulan? You've got 20 seconds to give your vote. 101 Dalmatians, says Toppy. Do you want to go with Toppy? He's a wise man. Oh, yes, we should go. Toppy, we'll go for the 101 Dalmatians. Right. We've got one last question, and then I'll find the results for you. In the Harry Potter series of books, what make and model is the Weasley family's flying car? Let's ask the chat room. They're better than Nick.
You haven't bloody asked me anything.
We did ask you one.
I knew. They hadn't asked me about the ones I knew.
Oh, well, we didn't know which ones you knew.
Well, I wasn't allowed to tell you.
I know, exactly. It's very complicated, this quiz. I don't know that Nick knows a lot about Harry Potter, to be fair. Shake your head if you know lots about Harry Potter. He doesn't know about lots about. Ask the chat room. You see, it's like I know you. It's like I know you. Into August, we have Shayeti's much delayed trip home. This is when I got to go back to see my parents, because it was the same time. The live show was the same time as it was the first time I'd seen my parents since the pandemic started. So over like 15 months or something. So we did recording when I came home. Then we had Yeti Uncle John Pro Gaming Champion. That was all about Troby teaching Yeti Uncle John how to play Fortnite. One of the few things that he's done that he hasn't made into a complete dog's dinner, or worse. Playing Fortnite, he didn't end up conjuring up a demon or anything. So it's something that he could be allowed to do relatively safely.
Oh, there's some money stuck in the wall. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to build up to it.
I found a blue chest.
Right. A blue chest? Yeah. Is it attached to anyone, or?
No.
No? You opened the blue chest. What was in it? Anything good?
Just a medical bag, actually.
Oh.
Or there was a purple revolver.
Okay.
Or hand cannon, as they say.
I found a pistol, so I'm going to go in the toilet for a pistol practice.
Right.
Okay. If there's a large explosion from inside the toilet, don't come running.
I won't.
Right. Ready? Oh, that was a pathetically small pop. I did not make a large noise in the toilet, so at least we haven't warned anybody to my presence.
It's not the sort of present I look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, there's something purple there. Can you grab hold of it?
Would you like a fish instead?
Oh, you've given me your small fish. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, that's very generous of you.
Following that, we had Love Grows Where the Shy Yeti Goes, the big hits of 1970 with Martin Holmes. There we had the quiztastic return of Comic Book Ryan. So I think we hadn't seen Ryan for a month or so, and we did some quizzes and trivia. I can't remember if that's the last time he appeared to date. I would like to get him back on the show. I have asked him, and he said he will, but we haven't managed to come up with a date. So you'll have to send in your fan mail. You know, now he's in Jupiter, we've got to get in a spaceship, and Ig isn't up for big journeys at the moment. I imagine, unless he gets himself a nanny, I imagine Ig's going to be quite busy. Probably going to be us babysitting, I expect. Then, episode 459, Milestones in History with Paul and Nick. That was next up. Then we had Happy 10th Birthday to the Vampire Cows. We had 3 poetry episodes during 2021, because I released 3 poetry books back in 2011, so... Then we had A Good Time for a Spot of Quizzing with Callum, and Putting the Reboot on the Other Foot. We were discussing different ways that the Shy Life podcast could reboot itself or revamp itself a bit before episode 500, most of it in jest. Following that, we had another episode with Lee, Shy Yeti Tells You What You Want, the big hits of 1996.
Our next number one for 2 weeks is, I think, we had them last year, but it's Robson and Jerome.
Oh, God, were they still around?
Yeah, What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, Saturday Night in Movies, You Never Walk Alone, some sort of... They probably did sung them all and merged them all together into one.
Into one big mega mix.
I was going to say mega mess, but...
Yeah, for the grannies.
I still think 1996 is... looking better than 1995, but there is some hiccups, but they're not quite as bad. But
hopefully we'll get Lee back in 2022. We had hoped to do 1997 before the end of the year, but this time has just passed us by. Then we had Yeti Uncle John's Diciest Decision Yet. This is where things went really wrong with the dice, and this is where he ended up in shame jail. What's going on? What are you two talking about? Oh, Yeti Uncle John. There you are. Now listen, this is going to sound bad, but it's nothing that we can do. You need to just stay here and accept your fate, and we'll do our best to get you out of the trouble. What are you talking about? Yeti Uncle John, it's because of what you did with the skateboard and the motorway and the whole. It's just somebody has told them, or they've just found out. Maybe they're watching you or something. Who? What? What's going on? Yeti Uncle John, it's the shame inspectors. Now, they've issued you a 4th strike, and you know what that means. What? Oh, for goodness, this is just some sort of sick joke. No, it's not. We've just had them on the phone. We tried to explain that you are stressed, and maybe we can speak to a doctor and say that you're not medically fit to have to put up with their punishment. Punishment? No one's going to punish me. Well, you know what the shame inspectors are like. You know how much power they have. I'm sorry, Yeti Uncle John, there's nothing we can do. They'll be here any minute. I'm not sticking around. Oh, Yeti Uncle John, no, running away won't help. No, running away won't help. It'll probably give you a 5th strike, and then goodness knows what will happen to you. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not standing here and waiting to... Oh, no, it's them. Oh, please, Yeti Uncle John. Now just go quietly. What? What are you joking? This is ridiculous. We're just batting down the hatches. We're not letting them in. No, we have to let them in. It's a shame, inspectors. We can't. Oh, please. It's nonsense. What are you talking about? I can't believe it. It's dreadful. What's going on? Oh, Yeti Uncle John. Please, no, please. No, don't go knocking the door down. Please, no. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. What? Yes, Lord. Then, this is the end of August, we had our Farewell Summer Chatterbox show. So yes, another Chatterbox episode. And then episode 466, our first episode of September, was catching up with the Matinee Minutia gang, where we talked about the films they discussed during their third season and what their hopes were for the fourth season, which is now well on its way.
The next episode we covered, I was involved with this, Howard and Maude from 1971. In fact, we appeared at Farpoint Virtual Convention talking about Howard and Maude, and I very much enjoyed going back to it, having not watched it for many years, and sort of couldn't believe that I hadn't seen it again more because it was so good. I sort of was surprised that I hadn't been going back to it more regularly.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies that I'll just go back again and again to watch because of the performances and the message and the music, and it's one of those movies that just it speaks to me, as they say, and this movie does, and it's an odd, very odd comedy, I would say. Dark comedy, but it really works for me, and I can never get enough of Ruth Gordon in the character of Maude and Bud Cort as Harold. They both do. I mean, they work this movie, and I think it's magic.
I really liked Ruth Gordon from Rosemary's Baby, and I have her autobiography.
Then we had Sniffy Martin's Big Confrontation. This is when Sniffy Martin confronted the person that he believed to be his birth mother. And then we had Nick's Family Film Night. This was another episode where Nick took over, and his sister Jenny and brother-in-law Cliff and Ali, his wife, talked about favourite films and, going to the cinema when they were younger. And then we had episode 469, Meet Joe Bloggs. Now, Joe Bloggs was that mysterious guy who turned up to do some work down in the laboratory and who we discovered later had left some bugs, Control Incorporated bugs. So yes, a very sinister event, meeting Joe Bloggs. Then we had Martin Holmes back for episode 470, 50 years ago today, the big hits of 1971. Then we had Shy Yeti and the Really Big Problem. Cromitty was doing experiments and I ate something that he'd experimented on and it made me into a giant. That was embarrassing. It's me, Paul. I'm a giant. I'm a giant Yeti. Oh dear. My friend Milo would be very excited by all this. I have a friend who he's very into giants, and in better circumstances I'd go and see him just to give him a bit of a thrill. You don't know Milo, it's fine. He's a lovely guy. Just very much into giants. I'm wearing a paper bag over my head, so I hope that I'm not too muffled. Hiding behind a bush, but, well, quite honestly, if people saw me, they'd see me, if you know what I mean. But it's dusk out here. It's a little bit chilly, actually. And I don't think there's many people about. I did see a dog walker, and I just froze. To be honest, the dog, he wasn't interested. He was much more interested in
some ball that his owner was throwing him. But oh dear. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have to stay out here. I think I've stopped growing. But I'm very big. I'm about the size of, well, I could peer over the top of the N25 if I wanted to. But, well, I didn't because I didn't want to cause an accident. But yes, I'm at least as high as that. I don't know how high that is. Taller than the flats where I live. I couldn't get on a train. Trains look like model train sets to me at the moment. Oh God. What a stupid thing to do. I shouldn't have eaten that tomato. I should have thought about it. It wasn't a normal tomato. I feel stupid. I feel like Yeti Uncle John. Oh dear.
Could have been more embarrassing, but they got me back to normal size. Although, yeah, I'm still experiencing issues due to that. But it was my own fault. I accept that. It was my own fault. Then we have Yeti Uncle John's very many questions for Nick. This was Nick getting loads of questions. It was going to be 170, but we didn't get all of them. And some of them were repetitive or too American-centric that they wouldn't have worked with UK people. I didn't count how many we did, but there must be getting on for 100 questions that Nick answered. Maybe more. I'm not sure. That was all linked supposedly to Yeti Uncle John doing his research for his biography that he is writing about the Charlotte podcast, which he's been working on in Shame Jail. Then we had the continued shame of Yeti Uncle John. This is when Toppy paid a visit to Yeti Uncle John in Shame Jail, and enough said about that.
Oh, Toppy, wonderful to see you. So glad we could arrange this.
Well, I am too, but I got to tell you, the security that I had to get through to come here and visit. I mean, it's a little. I mean, really, Yeti Uncle John, this is extreme shame jail.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you not to wear any nipple clamps or any G-strings or anything. Sort of. I hope it wasn't too probing.
No, well, no. No, I survived. But anyways, I'm glad I got through. Yeti Uncle John, how are you?
Oh, I'm keeping. I'm keeping busy. I've been practicing my magic. I've been pulling handkerchiefs out of people's noses and things, mostly when they're sleeping.
All right. Keep going.
I got a nice cellmate. When I say nice, I mean he doesn't hit me or anything. And also, if I share my sherbet dib dabs with him, he will even let me, try and saw him or pretend to saw him with my pretend magic saw.
Well, that's interesting. Yeti Uncle John, is he making you his bitch? No, I'm sorry. No, let's not go there. Anyways, no, I don't want to know.
It's okay. It's okay. No, he's quite nice. He's okay. His name's Julius, and
Julius. Orange Julius.
I don't know. We don't talk about. We're not allowed to talk about what we're because shame sort of falls under lots of things. Fall under shame, so we don't have to talk about our. About the individual reasons we're here, so we don't. It's all sort of, but
you guys don't talk about. But between you and me, Yeti Uncle John, has this experience taught you anything?
I've learnt my 12 times table, which I didn't know before, because Julius.
What?
When Julius is trying to get to sleep, he does his 12 times table backwards, and it kind of sends him asleep. So, I mean, it usually takes 2 or 3 hours to get to sleep. So I've learned, now I know my 12 times table. So I have said to him, perhaps we do 11 times table or 30 times table.
I guess that's something.
Then we had Shy Yeti's ABBA Extravaganza, which came out at the start of October. By then, I hadn't heard the album. We haven't really talked about the ABBA album. I'm sure we will at some point. I need to find somebody to talk to who I know has definitely listened to it. But we had heard 2 songs at that point, and it inspired us to look at a poll online. Now, this was Yeti Uncle John and I mostly, but Martin Holmes came on for a little bit of a general ABBA chat. Then we had Yeti Uncle John's Great Escape, Part 1, followed by Part 2. We should definitely have a clip from that. Cuthbert. Now, Yeti Uncle John has had an accident in the spaceship and he's taken off, and we need to contact him, but we can't. Ike's not well enough to help. Can you pinpoint him?
Of course I can assist, Paul. This is a very important matter.
Good boy, Cuthbert. Okay, right. Let's see what we can do. Let's try and send a message, all right?
Please speak your message, Paul, and I will see that it reaches Ike's ship, where Yeti Uncle John can hear it. With a bit of luck, we may even be able to speak to him directly!
Okay, you want me to speak? Yes, Paul, speak now. Calling Yeti Uncle John. Calling Yeti Uncle John in space. Can you hear me? Paul, is that you? Yes, Yeti Uncle John, it's me. I'm down in the laboratory with Cuthbert. Ike is quite ill. He needs the spaceship back. We need to get you back down here. Oh, Paul, yes, please, I don't like it up here. Yeah, well, be careful. Don't touch anything else. Don't touch any... I presume you pressed the wrong button or something. Yes, Paul, it was my fault. I thought I was closing the doors. Dear, oh dear, what should I do? Well, Cuthbert is working out what you should do, but we may be able to ask Ike, but it's a long story. You just need to sit still and not do anything. Oh, Paul, I don't like it up here. Yes, I know. We'll save you. We'll bring you home. Oh, the pain. Yeah, you haven't got any pain. Don't be dramatic. Oh dear. We'll get you back. Cuthbert, please, what should we do?
Please do not rush me, Paul. I am currently plotting a solution. Please be patient!
Oh gosh, you've got to hurry. Please hurry, Cuthbert. Oh dear. Don't rush him, Paul. I know. I'm just worried that something bad will happen. I'm just worried that Yeti Uncle John won't be able to cope up there. Oh, please help me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this. Help me, please. What a nightmare. Then we had episode 477, Dealey Cat's 17th birthday surprise. It was a surprise for him, but there was a surprise for us as well. But thankfully, well, yeah. Well, we all know that Dealey is of another world, but, he got recalled up into space for some election. But he's still about. He still basically lives with us, but I'm not sure what the update on that is. He's still about, anyway. Then we have Robot Cuthbert's 3 more years in film. And I can't remember what years we talked about for that, but then we had School's Out for Shy Yeti's Big Hits of 1972. That was with Martin. That was I think at time of recording that the 1973 episode might be going out before Christmas. Yeah, I won't talk about the really, really recent episodes because they've only just been released. But then we had The Unsavoury Shriek of the Halloween Fiend. That was our Halloween episode.
They're supposed to be, I guess they're traditional Halloween creatures, perhaps in different parts of the world. One of them is called an adlet. It says Inuit by it. I guess it may be sort of known in that sort of community.
Like Inuit is the name of some original people in the Canada, I think, way up north.
Yeah,
I think.
It says that an adler is a human-dog hybrid with dog's legs and a human body. They were born to a woman that mated with a dog, according to a collection of Inuit tales and songs published in 1889 in the Journal of American Folklore.
It
says the adlet had human bodies with hairy dog's legs, and they killed and ate their grandfather. They all had the same grandfather. I don't know. After he murdered their canine father, according to the legend. Dear, oh dear, this is quite one to start with. Deals, please hide your ears.
Yeah, this is some serious stuff here.
Lots of little nice chats, lots of nice special guests. And then I did another bonus episode, Robot Cuthbert's Super Scary Sutton Park special. It took quite a big chunk of Sutton Park, and Cuthbert sort of explained what was going on. And it was a period where, well, something really awful had happened in a house where I was living, and I was beginning to think that I was to blame for it. Then we had Shayeti's Muddy Autumn Rambles. That was walking in Richmond Park. I was walking near my home. The end of that episode sort of fell apart a bit because I wasn't able to go for any more walks one way or another, but never mind. Then we had Yeti Uncle John's notorious Shy Life biography, when I got to read a first draft of what Yeti Uncle John had been working on. Yeah, put a stop to that, I can tell you. Then we had Shy Yeti's slightly sluggish birthday bonanza. It wasn't that well during my birthday or around that time, but we still released an episode.
Toppy, is that you? Hi, it's me, Paul again. Sorry, is it late?
Yeah, I was asleep. Well, Paul, what's going on?
I don't think it's zombies, but I think it might be ghosts, because I went downstairs and the cellar door, although it was locked before, it was now open. Only ghosts can open locked doors. I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down into the cellar though, because what are they waiting for me? Or the ghosts could be waiting down there.
Well, Paul, it's really late here. There's no. It's just. I think you are just letting your imagination run wild.
We know ghosts exist. I've met them before.
Well, but that's on your podcast, Paul. So.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sorry I've woken you up. Well, maybe I'll just put a chair against the door so that they can't come out. Oh no, I guess they could just come through the door, couldn't they?
That's a good idea.
Maybe I'll sleep in the garden.
No. Paul, you're fine.
The sun's coming up. The sun's coming up anyway, so maybe ghosts don't come out in the day.
It'll be fine. The sun's coming up. Yeah. Paul, I gotta work tomorrow, and Oh, that's all right. Sorry, just calm down, and it'll be fine.
Sleep well.
All right.
Night.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good night, Paul. Good night.
Then we had episode 485, Very Many Revelations for the Shy Life Gang. This is when Sniffy Martin really did find out who his birth mother was. That was quite an emotional episode. And the funny thing was, it all came about because we were trying to talk with Damius, trying to talk to the persona of Damius inside August Evans. And, anyway, you must listen to that episode if you haven't. Then we had episode 486, Funeral for a Shoe, the 10th anniversary special. And then the last episode of November was Ick Welcomes Sister Oo, where we had some trouble meeting Sister Oo, who will be helping Ick give birth. And then the episodes in December you kind of know about, I would have thought. But yes, that's sort of my review of the year. I always like the episodes that involve stories and characters and revelations, even in episodes about films and stuff. I like the regulars to contribute, and maybe there might be a little bit more of the story right at the end of the episode. Who knows? I'm a cliffhanger junkie, that's what I am. Anyway, I think I need a bit of a breather now, so I hope you enjoyed some of those clips and our review of the year, sort of, or most of the year. And I should think everybody else is probably having their Christmas thing. I'm going to have some Christmassy stuff, but just low key. I want to watch some of those depressing movies that I like. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that now. So, well, I'm going to do that now. You're going to see what everybody else is doing. We're coming. Oh, happy Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Happy Christmas, Ig.
Oh, it's lovely to see you.
Hello, my dear. Have I ever been in your ship? I can't remember.
Oh, darling. Oh, Tallulah. I think if you had been in here, you would remember it.
Oh, I can't remember either. Sometimes the excitement of being in the ship can make you forget things, Tallulah.
Oh, yes, I think you might be right. Oh, yes, I think you might be right.
Come in. Oh, dear. Oh, it's going to be a lovely Christmas.
Oh, yes. Absolutely lovely.
Well, August, what do you make of our Christmas tree? It is very nice, my dear. I'm definitely going to paint that later. Oh, that would be lovely, darling. And I'd like you to preserve it as a painting. A photograph is all very well, but a painting... Oh, I'll do that for you. It's very lovely being here with you. Oh, there's so much to paint. You have so many lovely views. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying yourself, darling. Oh, yes. Maybe we can sit down and watch a film. Oh, yes. We can watch a film. I'll paint it. You'll paint the film. All right. Do what you like, dear. I'm totally supportive. Thank you. Thank you, Bettina. Oh, I have some presents for you. Yes. Do you know what? I don't think I do know. I had a very strange request the other day. Oh, yes. I had a phone call. Somebody wanted me to paint 176. I've got it written down somewhere. They wanted me to paint that many portraits of you. They did what? It's true. I don't know who it was. I've been working on them. I should have mentioned it to you before I started. It wasn't you, was it? No, darling, I didn't ask for that many portraits of myself. Who on earth could want that many pictures of me? Well, I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery. Oh, well, it's a bit concerning. Never mind. Don't worry about it today. Let's go and get a glass of port or something. Oh, yes, a glass of port. And I'll paint it too. Oh, dear, oh, dear. All right. Come along, let's go.
Hello, it's me, Yeti Uncle John. Now, as you know, on television in the UK, on Christmas Day, the Queen often gives a speech. Yes. Well, I am the Queen of the Sherlock podcast, so I am here to give you your Yeti Uncle John speech of 2021. Yes, it's going to be an annual event now. I am here speaking to you. I am your Right, so 2021, it's been a tough year for all of us, especially me. I've been in shame jail, which hasn't been great. Although I've made a lot of friends. I'm still making friends. I've recently met Coconut Jim. Say hello, Coconut Jim.
Hello, it's me, Coconut Jim.
That wasn't Coconut Jim, that was me, because Coconut Jim is doing something... Sorry, it's a bit noisy in this jail. That wasn't Coconut Jim. Coconut Jim is busy having mince pies, I think, which is where I should be. But anyway, I've got to do my speech for you. So, yes, 2021 has been a hard year for all of us, especially me. But 2022 will be better because I'll be out, and I'm sure it'll be better for everybody else. Thank you for supporting the Charlotte podcast over the 2021. We've done lots of episodes, not quite 100, but quite a lot. I want to thank Paul for everything he's done with editing it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have heard any of this. Cromitty is lovely. Everybody is lovely on the show. I love working with them, even if I'm in the jail. I also like to give a personal thank you to Toppy Smelly for being naughty and helping me out of Shame Jail, even though I got caught again and had to go home again. Shh, don't tell anyone, that's a secret. Don't let Paul hear you. Talking to myself now. Yeah, Paul doesn't know about me escaping. No, he does. Paul knows about me escaping, but he doesn't know that Toppy was involved, so don't say anything. Sorry, I'm a bit drunk. Yes, that's the other good thing about Christmas in Shame Jail. We had cryptic crosswords, we had computer games, we've also had all manner of booze, so yeah, Shame Jail isn't as bad as people say it is. I feel a bit sleepy now. It's time to have a sleep. Oh, the Queen never does this, does she?
Can I interrupt?
Oh, Queen's here! The Queen's here! No, that wasn't the Queen. It was Gladys, the tea lady. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, this is the end of my Christmas message because I need to have a nap. I hope it's been good. Say, the Queen doesn't fall asleep in the middle of her Christmas message, but then, as we all know, the Queen doesn't do her Christmas message at Christmas. She probably does it in like October or something. Yeah, she does it when she's wide awake. Yeah. Well, I've got to go now. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year. Not going to do a Happy New Year message. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit close to the recorder. I'm not going to sit. It's all got rather noisy around here. I think Gladys is having an argument with Coconut Jim, so I've got to go. All right, bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now. Hi, Mum. It's me, Paul. Happy Christmas.
Hello. Happy Christmas to you.
Well, I mean, I'm hiding away from Christmas this year, but I'm still wishing you happy Christmas. You can wish me happy Christmas. I'm still having Christmas. I'm just keeping away from a busy Christmas with all the people who live in this house. But anyway, you'll have decorations and stuff up. I think I've seen the picture of the tree.
Oh yes, we're festooned.
Festively festooned.
Yeah. Well, while we're still getting our own Christmas trees, I think it'd been different if we'd had to buy one. But I don't want an artificial one.
Oh yes, we met. Well, I met your Christmas trees in one of my trips up to you, like a forest down the end of that garden now.
Yes, the biggest ones must be about 14, 16 foot, mustn't they? Don't ask me what that is in meters, but it's like three of you stood one on top of each other.
Hard to think if that would end with an accident, but yes. What about the cats? Are they festively festooned as well, or are they oblivious?
Megan's had a few little goes with some tinsel, but we try and persuade her that it's not a good idea, and I try to keep it away from Amy because she tends to try and eat things, and I don't think tinsel or cellophane is a very good idea for a cat's digestion.
Not very tasty. Is there anything going on in the garden whilst I'm here? Anything flower-wise? I guess not. Or not.
Well, there is actually. Round by the side of the garage, I think it's about 6 weeks ago, there was a single primrose flower. I thought, that's nice, but we won't get any more. But now, although we've had quite cold in between, I think there's about 6 or 7 flowers on the plant. So we've got a little cluster of primrose, which is nice, and we've got the jasmine, winter flowering jasmine, which is bright yellow as well. So there is a little bit going on. So there's the winter honeysuckle will be out soon. I don't think it is yet, but that is about all.
So the trouble is, I know you would do a lot of the preparation, if not all the preparation for Christmas food. If you weren't cooking, or even if you are cooking, what's your favourite food at Christmas? What do you like that's particularly Christmas related?
I suppose we're having duck this year, but that's just for a change. I suppose really favourite is turkey with pigs in blankets.
Yeah, I won't be getting that. I haven't even had that. Usually have it somewhere else during the Christmas period, but I won't have that at all this year. So the food that I've got is all sort of buffet Scandinavian type things. I think there's pork involved, but it'll be very nice. But
well, I just get into rather the habit of doing turkey, because years ago it was really I don't know that turkey is terribly available even now through the Easter you see them a bit, but I don't know. And you can get turkey fillets and stuff, I think, can't you? But whole turkeys are more. I suppose it comes. Excuse the clock. That's it.
Well, sometimes we have turkey schnitzels, homemade ones, because Toby doesn't really like pork. So I do sometimes have turkey at other points in the year. Actually, if he doesn't like pork, why are we having it in our roast? But who knows? Maybe it's just the way it's cooked.
You need a treat.
Maybe it's just a preference. But
I will not have a roast dinner if we go out to a restaurant now, because I cook one most weeks, and I always think my roast dinner is better than what the restaurant's going to serve up. So if they have a carvery in the restaurant, I wouldn't want to go there on a Sunday, because they have nothing else but roast. Might be different meats, but I don't want to be spending out £15-20 for something I can cook better at home. I want something which is a little bit more exotic, bit beyond my capabilities.
I've been to some good carveries, but I know what you mean if you're cooking it yourself on a regular basis. Anyway, I better let you go. I just thought I'd call from my secret hidey hole.
Well, you keep nice and warm and snug, you and Dee Dee.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see you sometime next year.
If not soon. Harry, hi. Is that you?
Hi there, darling. How are you?
Oh, I'm just calling to say Happy Christmas and also Happy New Year, because I'm doing it all at once, because I'm in hiding at the moment. So.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. So where are you in hiding?
I can't. Well, I'm actually quite close to home. It's just that they haven't found me yet. I've just taken lots of supplies and all my favourite DVDs, and I'm just sort of just not getting involved in because my flat can get quite busy with all of the strange characters that I hang out with in the podcast, and I just thought this year I'd like to kind of keep to myself and not have to get caught in with all their dramas. So, so I'm having a lovely time. But
yes, well, you have a Merry Christmas and a Merry New Year.
What are you doing?
We're going to have Christmas dinner later.
Oh, good.
And then we're going to have carols around the Christmas tree.
Is it traditional? I mean, is it traditional Christmas dinner?
Yes, it's a very traditional. We're going to have turkey, cranberry, emu, obviously roast potatoes, horseradish,
emu wrapped in bacon.
Yes, and
antelope
some
on toast,
pine cones,
antelope on toast, mountain bear.
It's all the usual stuff that we used to have together, for our Christmas meals. We used to, Paul.
Porcupine and I don't know. Oh, anyway, I'm sure it's lovely. Yeah, we're having the stuff I've got here is kind of like sort of Scandinavian, lots of different courses, little different things, and I can just tuck in as I like. So they haven't found me yet, so I'm hoping that I can stay like this for as long as possible. So
well, stay safe.
Yes, I will. Yes, and I'll speak to you in the new year. And
okay,
Happy New Year and Happy Christmas.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Enjoy your porcupine.
Bye.
Hi, Martin. I just thought I'd give you a quick call because I know you're a fellow. I know you're a fellow, but I know
I like to be. Yes.
I know you're somebody who isn't a big fan of Christmas, and I just
yes. Numbug.
I just wanted some reassurance because I've gone into a state of hiding this episode.
Oh, okay.
And I'm having a fine time of it because I'm tucked away and I've got what I need, but I didn't want to socialise.
You're not hiding. You're not behind the sofa or under the floorboard hiding.
I have a little hidey hole, and I haven't told anyone where I am, but I'm able to phone out and speak, as is necessary. So.
Narnia at the back of the wardrobe.
Like that.
I'm in Narnia.
I can't get myself.
Don't look for me.
But, it's a bit, I was just wondering how you were getting on. You're doing okay.
We're ticking along. With the old, say the gloom and doom. As was it the most miserable time of the year, as we call it. No, it's I struggle with Christmas. It's a peculiar thing. I don't know. I maybe I'm just a melancholic, or maybe it's flashbacks and all that kind of thing. I struggle with, but thinking back to times and thinking, or maybe I look back and think, what's the colossal waste of time I've done with this year again? And I think it's like because I know some people do birthdays as well, but I think you just another year ticks by and you suddenly think, oh, I am still in exactly the same position I was 12 months ago. And I struggle with it, but we do what we do. We do what socializing we can as best we can, and it's fine. Yeah, we get by. I grumpily stick the odd decoration up and generally pretend, but I think the best thing about this time of year is I can shout and scream and rage at the adverts on the telly and just say pa, ridiculous, lunacy, and all that.
I mean, I do celebrate birthdays, but I don't decorate, so we balance out there. But anyway, no, I just needed a bit of of Martin to sort of put to make me to sort of not feel guilty for being a grump.
You've got to understand that very few people need more of me in their life. But yes,
no, I just needed some reassurance.
Yes, I mean you are not alone. What is it? YANA? You are not alone. I actually feel it's one of those strange things. It's a bit like Saturday night television. People tell you that everybody's talking about it, but it turns out that it gets 11 million people, and you wonder, well, what are the other 55 million people doing? They're obviously finding something much more interesting to do or some more exciting to do. And I feel that the sort of the happy, jolly, isn't Christmas great folk are actually in the minority, but they're a vocal minority, and vocal minorities, they do a lot of that sort of thing, really. But because it's the norm. People like norms. They don't like exceptions. They don't like the outliers. And actually, if you're a bit of an outlier, and I don't think it's Scroogeism. I genuinely don't think it's kind of just being a miserable sod. I think it's actually I struggle with social anxiety, if you see what I mean. And Christmas, if anything, brings social anxiety to the front. You feel there are things you ought to be doing, and just because people expect you to be in their sort of body, so they don't understand that when they sort of, for example, they might announce in the neighborhood, we're going to have a party, and you go, oh Christ, and you just want to hide behind a sofa and say, please pretend we're out, switch all the lights off.
I've never had a big family anyway, so Christmas Day has never been at its best. It was never more than a slightly more exciting Sunday lunch sort of thing.
I do appreciate that there are people, who get a lot of joy out of it, and that's fine for them. But I think it's a mistake in life to assume that everybody gets joy out of the same things as you do, and I feel that Christmas somehow accentuates a lot of that stuff. Plus, of course, we've because we are surrounded by too much stuff. We've actually, last few years, decided not to do present giving, so we don't even have that to talk about, really. We just don't do it anymore. And I years forgotten to do. I constantly get to. I usually get to about Boxing Day, and I realise I'm not sent any Christmas cards. It's the same thing. It's just I always feel that if Christmas is to happen, I would be about ready for it in the end of February. And it's not that I would need it to still be happening now, because if it existed at the end of February, I wouldn't be ready for it until the end of April. I'm just always a couple of months behind where it needs to be.
Well, I'm going to go and watch a Christmas horror film, and that'll change.
Oh, yeah, that's very festive. Yes. How do you make them? Do you sort of just stick a piece of holly on the corner of the screen or something, or just to make them more festive? Or do you just watch? Are there a lot of festive horror movies?
There are actually quite a lot, yeah. Or
at least Black Christmas, isn't there? Which is famous.
There's plenty. There's plenty.
Gremlins, of course, is quite good for that sort of thing. I think.
Ah, dear. Anyway, I better go. Yeah, so a very grumpy Christmas from me.
And indeed to you. You take care.
Take care.
Nick, welcome. It's good to see you. Oh, yes, good. Had a busy Christmas looking after Ick with long,
Oh, well, I come around to see Paul for Christmas. I can't seem to find him. He's nowhere to be seen.
Well, there's the thing. Paul has, we can't quite work it out because he said he wanted a very low, to himself Christmas. And he said he found a hidey hole and he was going to go and have his Christmas in there. And we just can't work out where because,
It bothers me because, he's always been such an outgoing person.
Not at Christmas, though. But
dear.
I think...
I've come here to... Well, I might as well stay because I've come here to find some tapes. So Sutton Park, because as you know, we're converting the whole lot to digital. And I'm just sort of...
we will have just put a clip of Sutton Park just before this bit of I'm recording, by the way. Just before this bit that I'm recording that we are doing now, there will be a Sutton Park clip because it's nearly the end of this episode.
Absolutely. Well, as I say, it won't, with a bit of luck and a bit of hard work, it won't be long before the whole series is out.
I can only imagine that there is a trap door. I mean, we have the laboratory downstairs.
Yes.
But I've searched that. Well, I can only imagine that there is a box that is covering an extra trap door to another part that I didn't know about or something. I don't know if you're looking for tapes. There's like a shoebox over there. Maybe maybe there'll be some in there. I don't know. This place is a lot more tidy than it used to be.
It is a shoebox.
Oh, you found me. You've uncovered me.
You're tiny. What you doing now?
What's going on? You found Paul? Paul, you're very tiny.
He's very small.
I'm very tiny.
You're very tiny.
I'm very tiny. I mean, we have Cromitty. You tell him. Oh, is this because? Oh, yes, of course. Nick, earlier back in the autumn, I was doing tests and things, and Paul ate something that made him a giant, and then something else happened, and he was very small. And although he's better, sometimes he turns small, and sometimes he turns big. Paul, that's how you've been hiding in the house.
I've heard in a box. I've heard that all I want for Christmas is you, but that's ridiculous.
Well, I because I can kind of control it to a certain extent. I thought it was a good way to hide away without anyone finding me. I'm just not telling them that I was.
Why do you not want to be found though?
Because Christmas, I like to, I've got my favourite horrible movies and lots of food. And I'm still celebrating. I just
favourite horrible family.
Like Christmas slasher films and things like that. It's all the things that make me happy at Christmas.
Oh, like people being dismembered. Yeah, I can relate to that. Yes.
It can be quite a hassle doing live Christmas episodes and reviews of the year and Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, because Happy New Year this time. We're putting it all into one episode this time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. It's a long episode, but anyway, I'm happy to come out of my hiding now. I'll come back to normal size.
Good.
But whilst we're here, I suppose I should say thank you, listeners, for listening to this episode, this mixture of Christmas reviews and New Year, and I hope you enjoyed everything that's appeared in it, and there'll be plenty of episodes coming up for 2022. So
let's hope they're not as reduced as you are.
I'll be back to normal by then. It's fine. Anyway, listeners, bye for now. Say goodbye, Cromitty. Goodbye, Cromitty. Say goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick, and have a good Christmas.
And New Year.
And New Year. Don't forget the New Year. Don't have a horrible New Year, whatever you do.
So Nick, I'm back to full size now.
Yes.
And we recorded quite a lot of episodes. I was talking to the listeners when I was in hiding about the sort of episodes we've covered. We've done film episodes this year.
We have.
You got to go rogue twice and do your own interviews.
That was I was a rogue with my sister.
Yes, and that was with John and. As well, talking about Doctor Who and famous people.
Yes. And don't forget regrets, or what alternative timelines would be if we.
Plus, I've been releasing episodes that we recorded in 2020. We've still got one or two episodes in 2020, but
episodes.
But
because we did loads. Well, we've done loads this year as well. So these two lockdown years. Well, these two. I was going to say chromaty years, COVID years have been some of the most prolific, really.
Yeah, I tried to release most of what we recorded this year, and because the topics we talked about in 2020 are things that the episodes shouldn't date because we were talking about things that happened years ago.
Yeah.
I will catch up, but I have to try and release episodes so that everyone gets to be have to release a Martin episode and
we'll get another fruitful year. We've got John on as well. I don't know if he's appeared yet.
Yes,
he has. Yeah, I'm hoping to get him on in 2022 as well.
Yes,
hopefully he'll come back.
But anyway, well, I'm sure we'll have lots more recording sessions. Of course, we did the live on 548 episode together, and even though they had problems with their technology, I still think it was them, not us. But we might do that again next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can hear the theme music coming, so we better shut that.
Up at the theme music. Scary theme music.
Go now! Bye! Gotta go! Bye!
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear. What's going on now?
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
Well, listeners, I may be hiding away from Christmas, but as I have 3 little presents from my mum here, I think I'm allowed to open them. I think, why not? They might tide me over until I decide to emerge. Here's one. Blackberry jam, no less. That's a good choice. I just go scooping into the jar with my hands if I get really hungry. A bit of bread might be nice, or toast, but there we go. You can't have it all. This is gin. My goodness. This is an essential purchase. There's quince gin, dry gin, blood orange gin, blackberry gin, Parma violet gin, raspberry gin, pink grapefruit gin, and rhubarb and ginger gin. This will definitely help me out on a cold winter's night. Definitely. I'm staying where I am. I'm staying put.
No, Toppy, I think that was a wonderful episode by Paul, don't you? Oh my God. I sure do. Boy, I'm telling you, I really do. No, that was good. All right, dear. No, seriously, that was a great episode. Toppy. You know what I wonder? What in the world size shoe do you think the Shy Yeti wears? I don't know. I just wonder. 409. He's not all that shy, is right. Sheesh.
Yes. 409. 409.
Bye, Dilly.
Not bad.
Quite right.
Bye.
Goodbye.